Guys are hot.
It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B and Jax out here at Twin Peaks Camelback in Phoenix. We'll be here for the next 3 hours. Got Miami taking on Cincinnati tonight. Could be a good game. We'll break that down throughout the afternoon. Do want to remind you, got a great contest going on with our friends here at Twin Peaks, thanks to Coors Light and Blue Moon. Text PEAKS to 55678 for your chance to win a patio grill. That's right. You can do it every day. That's PEAKS to 55678. And you can do it each and every day. You guys missed me the last 2 days?
Not really. No.
Nice to see you going, Rob.
You guys get some words in?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You kidding me?
I tuned in yesterday. I can only listen for a little while.
I figured as much. But
Yeah, so much minutia.
So much minutia.
Minutia is just so much BS. You guys just going in circles. And I'm like, God, you guys need a driver so bad.
No, we make sense in our minds, and that's all that counts.
No, it's got to be. I mean, I'll understand and maybe be able to relate when I turn 60. So I still got 6 years to get to your guys' level.
Jimmy's a good quarterback. He sets me up.
He's really good.
Take it deep. We get a comment.
I think you swing a lot.
Damn right, man.
And you miss.
I'm getting my core.
What position did you play at Mesa Community? Because you were a baseball player and a football player,
I played first base, shortstop, as utility guy, and outfield at Mesa Community.
So your team was that bad? You played 4 different positions?
No,
at the same time.
You guys could recruit?
No, because we had guys like Mickey Hatcher, Hubie Brooks, and Mike Calise at the positions. They were sophomores. And maybe ended up playing Major League Baseball.
So they older or younger you? I wouldn't know.
They were older. Sophomores. I was a freshman.
How would I know that?
Freshman year, Mesa. So
that's the shit you guys were saying yesterday. And I'm like, what is it that you guys are saying?
Yeah.
You got to be a little bit more specific.
Freshman baseball play Mesa, Mickey Hatcher, LA Dodgers. We mentioned yesterday.
We did mention
Oral Hershiser on his anniversary of 59 and a half scoreless innings.
He played there too?
No, I didn't play at L.A.
Mickey
played at L.A.
Oh,
yeah, Mickey Hatcher. Yeah, Hubie Brooks, all-star shortstop for the Mets.
Yeah.
Expos,
right.
Not bad. All-American at ASU, and then Mike Calise, outstanding third.
That one I don't know. The other two you've talked about before.
Yeah, Gabby was. Gabby played.
Gabby Calise. That's his name.
Mike Gabby Calise from New Jersey.
Why'd you know his middle name?
What's that?
What's his middle name? Was Gabby?
Yeah, we call him Gabby because he talks so much. Not really, but he talks.
Is that where you get it from?
Yeah, he hardly talked at all, so we call him, hey, Gabby. He might say something. Outstanding third baseman for the Cardinals organization. So I was the utility guy at first, and carried the priest at first base. He was a sophomore as well, too. So I was the freshman.
So where I'm getting at, I didn't need all that.
Yeah.
That was my whole point.
You asked.
No, I didn't.
There you go.
That was my whole point about yesterday.
Yes.
You guys just the minutia. What I wanted to get to is what position did you play? And then my next follow-up question would have been, what kind of hitter were you?
Pretty good hitter. I was about a 325-ish, 330 hitter.
But you didn't get in much, so bad.
Well, and when I did, it was productive. Let's put it that way.
So if you get 10 at bats, you get 3 hits,
That's
you're batting
right.
300,
Yeah,
right?
right,
So
man.
you're doing okay.
I'm looking at Coach Fry on the bench, and Roger Schmucker says, I'm going, seriously, I've got 3 hits and 10 at bats. What am I playing? Well, that guy's going to be going to OU. He's going to ASU.
When did they say, Manuch, you just need to be a quarterback?
Well, I made that switch. I had to make that switch going to Kansas State when I transferred. They wanted me to play baseball there, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I couldn't.
This part I never got out of you in the last 18 years.
Yeah, I couldn't do both because with spring football and grades and school.
Why not? There's so many athletes before you and after
well,
you.
I was looking to get an education and didn't want to get behind.
Well, that's
an athlete saying that.
And then
why'd you go to Kansas State if you want to get an education?
Well, because I got my education, that's for sure. Culture.
Piece of paper, dude. Tell me the classes you had.
I had anatomy and physiology.
Okay.
Exercise physiology.
All right, get them out of the way. But the other one,
kinesiology.
You had badminton. You had bowling. You
Soccer.
had soccer.
Sure, it was a phys ed major.
Yeah, exactly.
Swimming.
Phys ed major.
Yeah, gymnastics.
Come on.
Yeah, dance.
All you need to know is this is the elbow, this is the wrist, this is the finger.
That's right.
That's all you need to know is
test and measurements. I take all those courses to get certified to teach them, and then test and measurements. And then anatomy and physiology, even though I took it twice, I did pass. Happy to get that bad boy.
The fact that you had to take it twice.
Brother. We worked on Larry, Jenny, and Skip. They were our cadavers that we had when we unpulled the sheets of formaldehyde that they would
remember that 7 years ago.
Well, you do, just because of Jenny, she was the lone female we had. And then Skip, he was a barber, so his left arm, the form was developed more, so he's left-handed. So you can see the difference in being a left-handed barber with the ligaments and the tendons versus the right hand. And then the other guy was just a good old boy from yesteryear.
Jimmy, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go down this road and get him all started on his.
You opened it up, Rock, and here
I just want to see. All I was saying, he says when you're driving and you throw him the pitches
Sure.
and he hits them. But
and
I
the
was
thing
trying to
is-
make a case that he wasn't much of a hitter.
And anatomy and physiology, all the pans full of female parts, male parts, and all the above. They're just laying there. They have to identify. And make
See,
sure it's all good to go.
if our producer was trying to get us back on track, he
Yeah.
would hit the button that gets us going on what's really.
For the top
There you go.
local and national stories of the hour, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Bet big on your favorite teams and players in an environment that's as exciting as the game you're watching. There's no better place in the Valley to get in on the action. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar. Now, guys, what's your top story this hour?
Well, a lot of conversation right now going on or I should say in regards to the Arizona Cardinals, who's going to be available to play, who's practiced today, who didn't practice today, and so on. And then when you look at the opposing team in the Carolina Panthers, I've been listening to WFNZ, the station that carries, I believe, the Carolina Panthers for the last couple of days. I kind of like listening to the other guys, leading up to the game, and they seem like they're pretty much they're ready for this,
Fairly healthy.
this Cardinal team, and that they are very healthy. And Christian McCaffrey didn't practice, I think, today, but that's probably precautionary. I mean, he's one of those guys that does he really need to practice? But he's having a great year. But there's some life in this Carolina Panther team, at least listening to the other guys, in the sense that because of their health and the quarterback situation, I think they're okay with. They're content with
They're
Baker
fine
Mayfield.
with Baker Mayfield. And look, we had a brief discussion about this yesterday, Rock, and I argued the point that he's in a brand new organization, brand new schemes, brand new players, everything, and I compared it to Russell Wilson in Denver.
Mhm.
Same situation. Russell hasn't looked like Russ.
But he will.
But he will.
Mhm.
And Baker now, after they won their last game, he started to look a little bit better. It's just getting on the same page with
But
everybody.
fortunately, he's got a guy named Christian McCaffrey.
Yes, he
that
has
can
that.
carry the load, 128 yards rushing last week.
That's correct.
That can help him learn this offense, understand this offense that Matt Rule is trying to incorporate with Baker Mayfield. He'll be fine, and he's going to be fine. He throws it well. He's
He's a smart football
smart guy,
Yeah.
and he's done a hell of a job. He did a hell of a job at Cleveland. But those are some of the positive you have while your new quarterback, even though a veteran, is learning the ropes. And look at the Cardinals as of today. They got eight individuals questionable right now. Rondale Moore, I guess, is kind of the big factor. Does he play or not? He practiced 2 days in a row.
He's going to play.
Yeah, he should.
I'll take that bet.
When he's played.
Well, if you practice, he practiced today. He was limited.
Yeah.
Yep.
Practiced yesterday. Just a matter of how many snaps he'll get, right?
Well, here's the thing. If he can open it up without any hesitation, hour and a half before the game, he'll play. And at that point, yeah, you may put him on a pitch count, with Isabella and everybody else that's in there that he can get in there from the standpoint of working him in. Because, guys, this will be technically his preseason game
Exactly.
of playing with a strained hammy.
Matt Prater.
Mhm.
No, it's not a big deal. He's got a hip issue.
Yeah.
You kind of rolled your eyes, Manuch, but if the kicker's hurt,
If it's his kicking leg, yes. If it's
okay,
his
your
plant
hip,
leg,
you don't
gotta
need your hip to
rotate.
kick.
He's
well, you
gotta
got to. Yeah,
rotate.
if it's his plant leg, that's one thing. You just plant.
And let's not forget, I mean, we don't know how long the hurricane aftermath will be with rain.
Mhm, right.
And if this field, which is
Soggy.
grass,
It is.
is soggy there at Bank of America Stadium, this could be something to look out for. It's
Well,
only
sure,
Thursday,
sure.
but if the weather is an issue on Sunday, which we don't know at this point, Jack's going to look it up. He'll be our weatherman today to find out what the weather's going to be.
Just-
But
It
you are in Carolina, and
Yeah.
they're getting hit. And my parents live there. They live in Charlotte. They're getting hit pretty hard.
it just depends on what. I don't know what hip it is, but either one. If it's your plant leg,
Just right hip.
right hip. Okay, so swinging that bad boy through, if it's bruised or not, could be limited. They'll say, okay, what's your max, Matt? Well, right now I could get you 42 to 45.
So when it comes to didn't practice today, AJ Green, JJ Watt, Rashard Lewis, Ezekiel Turner, all of them did not practice today. Limited, according to the report, Hudson, Pugh, Collins, Connor, Dortch, Moore, and Prater.
Well, Lawrence is going to be out. He's going to be out for who knows,
He's
4,
got that
5, 6
hand,
weeks.
right?
Yeah, you got the hand injury for right now. But
Then when you look at the Carolina Panthers, they had 3 guys that did not practice today.
after 3 games, you can expect some bumps and bruises. But yeah, Carolina really healthy. The Cardinals continue to be more banged up than usual. And besides usual suspects that are out, difficult
Two
to get
minutes.
any kind of continuity when everybody's coming and going.
Hey, I want to squeeze in our State 48 roofing It's Your Call question of the day. What do the Cardinals need to get off to a quick start against the Panthers? So what do they need to do, I should say? Focus on first downs, Kingsbury's play calling, more shots down the field, or running game. So your choices are focus on first downs, Kingsbury's play calling, shots down the field, and the run game. Head to our Twitter page at Roc and Manuch. Right out of the gate, I'm saying running game. I think they need to run it. They got to run the ball.
I would.
You got 5 running backs to choose from.
And
One
I
of them's
think
got to be able to
that's
do
the best
something.
way to get control of a game and get you going. Get everything going. Running game. Stick to it. And then occasionally, if they do take the shots down the field, you got to hit them. You got to hit them. If you get Hollywood Brown wide open down the seam or in the post, you got to put that ball on him. All of a sudden, take the home crowd out of the game, and you give your offense confidence you can move the ball.
If you missed it yesterday, the Diamondbacks put up 3 runs in the top of the 10th to beat the Astros 5-2 there in Texas. The series, they're off tonight, and they'll begin a 3-game series in San Francisco tomorrow. But we are going to talk some baseball next. Hear from the judge and what he did last night. You'll hear from him and some interesting, or I should say, some pretty cool comments that he had where he had a moment with Roger Maris's son after the game. So we're going to play that for you as well. And you're going to hear both the radio and the television call of last night's 61st home run that ties Maris for the single season home run record. That's coming up as we're just getting started from the Twin Peaks in Phoenix, right here on 28th Street, Camelback?
20th Street, Camelback.
20th Street, thank you.
20th Street, Camelback. Mm-hmm.
And don't forget, text Peaks to 55678 for your chance to win that patio grill. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. We also got Jax here, Ben at the iHeartRadio studios. Appreciate you hanging out with us. It's Fox Sports 910.
Tomorrow.
Drilled deep to left field. This could be it. See ya. He's done it. Number 61. He's been chasing history, and now he makes it. He and Roger Maris are tied with 61 home runs, the most anybody has ever hit in a single season in American League history.
There you have it. So that's Michael Kay from the Yes Network. And then here, this is my favorite. You heard it as we rejoined here at Twin Peaks in New York.
And the payoff. There goes the deep left. It is high. It is far. It is gone. Number 61. He ties Roger Maris for the American League single season record with 61 home runs. It's a 2-run Judgian blast. Here comes the Judge. A 2-run blast, and the Yankees take a 5-3 lead on number 61 for Judge.
And the entire Yankee team is out on the field. They are hugging him one by one. Patty Judge is standing behind the Yankee dugout. She got a big smile on her face. And the Yankee team outside the dugout, everyone hugging him. Garrett Cole now hugging him. Aaron Boone, one of the first people out there. A beautiful, beautiful moment for this guy.
You need to take notes on that, Manuch. Notice how Susan Waldman she basically just allowed John Sterling to do the call.
Sure.
Paused, and then Susan came in and gave her
I do
take
that all
as
the time.
the analyst.
I don't need to take any notes.
I don't listen to your high school stuff much, but when you are, I do listen and know. I feel sorry for your sidekick.
Yeah, Eric Anderson does a great. He sets it up, he calls it, and I kind of let him pause, and then I jump in and do my thing. Absolutely.
Let me say
Hey,
something.
do me a favor. Hold on, Jack. So you turn whatever you're doing right there, just stop it. Thank you.
There you go. Let me just say something about, because everybody talks about here comes the Judge.
Yeah.
And people ask, where did it was Flip Wilson, who you did on his TV show, did a segment on the TV show called Here Come the Judge, and he was dressed as a judge. So now
here comes the Judge.
That's it.
Here comes the Judge.
That's it. Everybody now has adopted Here Comes the Judge, and they don't even know where it came from with Flip Wilson.
Well,
I was talking.
You just told everybody.
I did. I was talking to a guy at
He
a
educated
refreshment
you.
stand.
I didn't know either. I mean, that's
You didn't know either?
not that I needed to know.
Well,
I never even thought about it.
That's
I don't even know what you're talking about. When will
information?
When would I ever need to use that?
Jimmy, you need to set
Even
up
if
a
I'm
segment.
in a bar with a bunch of Yankee fans, I will never need to know that.
Let me be the color guy on his little description. This was a show, 1967, 68.
Okay, I wasn't even
69.
born yet.
He was a comedy. It was a comedy hour.
Right.
Here comes the Judge. Here comes the Judge. So you got to give a little point of reference there, Jimmy.
I didn't know what he was talking about.
67.
That was one of those things
Flip
where,
Wilson.
no disrespect. We all talk, and
No,
a lot of it goes in one ear, out the other.
You disrespected
Because I didn't care. I was like, what do I care about a
Because
TV show? Is it a TV show or a movie?
It was a
It's
TV show.
TV
Comedy
show.
hour.
So,
Oh,
so
okay.
you
Comedy
could
hour.
be here at Twin Peaks and win money by asking people at the bar, "Hey, where did Here Come the Judge come from?"
But I don't think anybody would know the answer.
They won't.
How
That's
would
why I'm saying you're going to
exactly,
win
but
money.
I have no way to prove it. I wasn't born then.
You have to pull up a clip from 1967.
But if my phone's not
68.
there, so I can't Google it.
That was followed by the Tom Jones show that came on after that as well too. And then
Tom Jones or Tommy Jones?
Tom Jones.
Jones.
And then Sonny and
not
Cher.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Sonny and Cher also came on that.
Now I
night.
know. Okay, Sonny
Yeah,
and Cher.
it
Yeah,
was
I
during
got you, babe. Right? Yeah, Sonny.
It was during
He's
that.
a good ski accident in the tree.
Oh, yeah, he did.
yeah.
Good
Okay.
It was
advice.
during that era that you had all those great
Here's
shows.
the funny part. Where he hit the tree was at Heavenly Valley in Lake Tahoe. I used to ski that run all the time.
But you never hit the tree.
I did not hit the tree. No.
You're talking about Sonny Bono.
Yes,
hitting the
I
tree.
am.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Yes.
Here's what Aaron Judge said after the game about his record-tying moment.
It's an incredible honor. I'm getting a chance to be associated with one of the Yankee greats, one of baseball's greats. Be enshrined with him forever words can't describe it. That's one thing that's so special about the Yankees organization is all the guys that came before us and kind of paved the way and played the game the right way, did the things the right way, did a lot of great things in this game, and getting a chance to be mentioned with those guys now I can't even describe it. It's incredible honor, that's for sure.
Very poised. You just hear him. He's just right on par, man. Poised, humble, thanking everybody, the organization, and all the things that he has. I just love hearing that from Aaron Judge.
And he had a moment with Roger Maris' son after the game. Here's what Aaron said about the exchange with Roger Maris Jr.
I'll keep most of it between us, but he really was just congratulating, saying he's got to spend a lot of time with my family and get a chance to meet them, and just had a lot of great words to say. And I just, really thanked him and said what an honor it was. And, getting a chance to be associated with his father is something that you dream about, things like that. And for him to come to all the home games, come out here to Toronto and support and be there is definitely means a lot. That's for sure.
It's a big deal.
It is.
Sure, it's a big deal.
But it's not as big a deal as it was with Mark McGwire.
Well, it's because we hadn't seen
that
kind of a race.
I'm not taking anything away. Please don't take it as I'm taking anything.
No, I understand.
But it kind of felt anticlimactic for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was just okay. Baseball's needed some exposure.
Juice.
It needs some juice. It got it with this.
Yes.
But I don't think it got it to the level that Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa and all that had. That was a whole nother level. Would you guys agree?
I would agree.
Way up there.
I agree because they pretty much brought baseball back.
Yes,
after
to the forefront.
Strike. Yes, and the networks at that time, they would cut to McGwire at the plate, Sosa at the plate. One day, split screens. One day, Sosa's leading with 58. McGuire's got 57, and he bangs out 2, and then it's tied. And then the next day, Sosa hits another one. I mean, it was nuts.
Awesome.
It was nuts.
Yeah, for those of you that did not get a chance to be a part of that or be around at that point, or we weren't old enough, that was
98.
This just seems like the juice has been kind of squeezed out of this story. The New Yorkers are just, they're leading it.
Sure.
It's a big story. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
So staying on course with Jimmy and what you say that show was? Something, Judge?
Here comes the judge.
Here comes the judge.
The show is called the Flip Wilson Comedy Hour.
What well-known celebrity
Yeah.
was the director and executive producer of the movie 61?
Oh, wasn't Gyllenhaal the actor? Jake Gyllenhaal, wasn't he the actor?
This is when Roger Maris,
yes,
of course, beat
was
Babe Ruth's record.
Yes.
I'm going to say, oh, man. Robert Redford?
No. See, this is why mine's a lot better than Jimmy's.
Yeah. Who was the producer director?
No, let Jimmy get a guess. No guess?
I thought Billy Crystal was in on that deal as well.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, that's all I can think of.
Go with it.
All right, Billy Crystal.
It's Billy Crystal.
Oh, good, Billy Crystal.
Lifelong Yankee fan and
yes,
former, I think, owner of the Diamondbacks at one time.
He was a part owner.
Part owner.
Part owner. He was one of those that I think got bought out or wanted to get bought out.
Speaking of these long time, old time, whatever guys, I thought it was cool. Willie Mays yesterday, first time since July of 2021, was at Oracle Park for the Rockies Giants game yesterday.
Yeah,
nice. Say, hey, kid. I think the thing about this is it's Yankees. It's Judge breaking another Yankees record at 61 back in 1961. The whole genre. It's been 61 years back in 61. That whole Yankees thing. The appeal is what have a lot of people. If this was a Marlins guy or a Cincinnati guy, it might have a little, but this has got a lot of juice because it's the Yankees.
And it's in New York.
Roger Maris.
And I think it's safe to say that for those of us, we're not in New York. We're on the other side of the country. We don't get to hear and see Aaron Judge much.
Right.
He's a good guy.
He
comes across as a very well-spoken, soft-spoken guy that you root for guys like that.
And I think what I like, he knows the Yankees' history inside and out.
He does.
And acknowledging the Maris family.
For the Yankees.
Yeah, but you'd be surprised how many guys probably come through there don't care.
Let me drop something on you and see if I refresh your memory, and I'll do it quickly. When we go back to McGwire, and he was closing in on Maris's record at that time, people were bitching because he had to break it within 154 games because that's when Maris had the last game.
Right.
He had to do it in 154, which he did.
What was the game number yesterday?
They got for Yankees 7 left to go. So
from 62, so 162. So
we should look that up because
I'll
maybe
look it up right
it's
now.
a mute point.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone's brought that up by now. If not, Jimmy, you need to get some credit for that.
Regular season 154.
154 was when Maris. Yes, when Maris hit 61. Yes, that is correct.
You forget that of the 8 games.
That's it.
On top of that.
That's it. Just more money for the owners. Rock's on it right now.
So does that make it an illegitimate record right now?
What's 96 plus 59? There's your answer.
Rock doing his.
No, why can't somebody else help me? I can't
96
produce the
to
show, do
Well,
the
what,
show,
what do you
lead the
want me
show.
to do? I've
One
got it.
here.
Add it up.
155.
155.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's one game over.
One game over.
What, one?
So the record's tarnished.
No, I ain't tarnished.
Well, why not?
Well, you
To his point,
so-
to what Jimmy just said,
so you're going to have to put
what
an
Jimmy
asterisk
just
by it.
said, it's not equal
legit.
playing field.
Yeah, that's a good point. I never thought about.
It's a great point.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
legit. Because
Ah, so that we're not. Can we just start that segment?
No.
because
So
they
gotta give
were
him some love.
dogging. They were dogging McGuire like crazy
Wow.
because he had to do it within the 154 schedule of games
To make it
which
legit.
Maris did. Yes, and he did.
So who's at fault for Jay Crowder's pending departure from the Phoenix Suns? We're going to dive into that next. We're at Twin Peaks Camelback. It's Fox Sports 910.
You guys are hot.
At point 7.
Valley Sports with the call air. Jay Crowder is in the news as the Suns announced they're going to trade him. You've seen that. It's just mind-boggling to me that he is currently the hottest player on the NBA trademark.
Go figure.
Or trade market. I mean, a 32-year-old veteran bench player who's got a career average of 9.6 per game. A guy that I'm not a fan of. I don't mind. Let the door hit him in the ass. He's so damn inconsistent. We saw him towards the tail end of last year, firing up these threes. The way his approach is, if he makes the first one, he's going to keep making, keep shooting until he makes like 2 more.
Yes,
it's like he's in practice. So I'm not a Jay Crowder fan. Let him go. I think they've made some nice additions to this team, and the fact that the going rate is a first-round pick for Jay Crowder.
Never.
You do that all day long if someone's going to do that. And that's being Philly, Cleveland, Toronto, Boston. All of them are throwing that out there.
That going to happen, Jimmy? They're going to get a first-rounder?
No.
What are they going to get for Jay Crowder?
Probably a second. That would be my guess. Would be like a second-round pick. I don't understand why people think that Jay Crowder is a first-round pick guy.
That's why I think it's ridiculous. Well, there's a reason for it because there's no one else out there.
Well, that's true.
That's it's supply and demand. It's what it is. That's what I'm saying. Suns, James Jones, make that move as fast as you can to get a first-round pick for him.
Oh yeah,
he's not going to play in a Suns uniform again.
Yeah,
he's never going to be worth this much ever again.
No, I would agree with that, Rock. And
he's the last year of his contract. That's perfect.
Yeah, expiring contract. I think that all. But I will say this: Jay Crowder I really started to flip the script on where he was with this team. He was all in, and then the night before the media day, Sunday night, to come out with that he's basically not coming back, won't be his son, all that. I just thought that was classless. I think at that point James Jones had no. That's what I'm looking for. He had to go ahead and tell him to stay home. Look, we're going to try to make this move. Obviously, you're upset. You just stay home. We'll try to get this thing worked out. And you're right, Rock. I mean, guy was building condominiums. You know, he builds condos half the time. He gets hot, and then he's not hot for 3 days.
That's where you're supposed to hit the laugh button.
Yeah,
Jimmy and I aren't laughing, so you got to help support the show.
You know, it's condos.
That's Manuch's humor today.
Yeah, absolutely. You keep putting them bricks up, man.
Just say bricks. Yeah. The condos, you don't need to say the condos.
He shoots so many bricks, he builds a condo. That's the whole thing right there.
There we go, man. But, here's the thing, too. You got to look at the financial aspect of this. With Robert Sarver selling the team, there's a chance that the Suns could trade Crowder to a team that with cap space. That means that they wouldn't have to take any salary back in return, and then they could save some cash this season. And there's some sources out there saying that that's a priority because Robert Sarver's trying to sell this team with a lighter payroll, and that tax situation that they have could make this much more attractive to these teams that you're hearing, like San Antonio, which has some money, the Indiana Pacers that have some money. So I would make a bet right now on my app, my DraftKings.
Okay,
they're going to get a first-round pick for him. Well, I'm just going to laugh. I'm going to laugh if some team does that.
That would be one of the most ridiculous things that I've ever heard. But to go back to what you just stated, he's the only dude there.
That's true.
That's it. There's no competition. I wanted him to swap, and I referenced this yesterday, Rock. I wanted him to swap Crowder for Bogdanovich in Utah. And that deal
if somebody would want to do that.
Yeah.
If Utah would want to do that.
Yeah, but they ended up doing a deal with Detroit instead.
So if you look at some comparables, you could go back. Now, it's different times.
Yes.
2017, P.J. Tucker.
Yeah.
Toronto.
Yeah.
2 second-round picks.
Okay.
I can see that.
That fits.
Yeah.
Okay, that fits.
Times are different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's 5 years ago. And there was more guys out there on the street. The trade market's just very small right now. I mean, with what's out there, that's why he's worth a lot.
Are you taking P.J. Tucker or are you taking Jay Crowder?
I'll take Tucker.
I like P.J.
Yeah, I like Tucker.
The guy, there's a reason why he's been in the league.
He's in the league for like
so
900 years.
Clutch, rebounding, defense, all the above.
And he can hit threes for you at least somewhat consistently.
I think the bigger picture with what's going on is this Phoenix Suns team in general. The more that all of this is sinking in from DeAndre Ayton and Monty Williams and Robert Sarver and everything else that has been going on with this black cloud over this organization. I hate to say this, man, but I really believe that this team is imploding. I do.
How can you say that? The season hasn't even begun yet.
Back-to-back eliminations to the playoffs. Okay. Now there's no owner. right? There's a sense of urgency. Last year it didn't work.
He's still the owner. He's still the owner.
He has no say,
but he doesn't have any
Okay, but you
say.
still got that in your.
But James Jones is going to handle the basketball operations.
But here's the thing. The one thing I think I hear Rock saying, okay, he's suspended, but what can James Jones do or not do, knowing that you're looking to sell the team? It sounds as if you're going to go buy a bunch of brand new furniture when you're going to sell your house.
Because the other 65% of the ownership, right?
Right.
They have some say.
Yes, they do.
They're going to try to make as much money now and then make as more money when they sell the team.
That is
so
correct.
why would they want to add payroll?
Well, add payroll, and I think that's the dilemma they're in right now is, okay, we won't add anything more because we're trying to sell it and get a bargain. Not a bargain, probably won't $2.5 to $3 billion, whatever it is. I think that at that point, they understand is, okay, where can we go, get a good deal, and not have to add anything more to it where that price goes up. If you're selling for close to $3 billion, whatever it's going to be, a $9 million contract, $10 million contract, I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue if the value is there.
Depends on the CFO.
Well,
right? I mean, I just think with the Ayton Monty deal is bigger.
I agree.
It's a bigger deal here. Okay, I think the Sarver saga. I think you got an aging Chris Paul. Let's not forget. I mean, he's banged up a lot, and he didn't perform the way I think we would have liked to see him last year. You lose. All right, if Jay Crowder, he was supposed to be the leader, and the guy, in fact, he's whining because he wants to start, and he's not going to be a starter. I don't know. I just think this team could implode, and it sucks because I think they had a window here to win a lot of games, win a lot of playoff games, possibly a championship, a parade. Everything was going in that direction. But I'm sorry, when your head coach doesn't even text, 2-minute text, 5-minute text, or minute text to say congratulations on your extension and your contract.
Nothing.
There's something wrong with that. He's saying to the ownership, we need to get rid of this guy. I don't want him on my team.
January 15th can't get here fast enough.
Well, I think that's a good point, Jimmy.
No, that's exactly what it is.
It was going to happen, and then
get rid of that big contract.
DA
get a bunch of picks for the future. Why wouldn't you do it if your team's going to be? Say if your team is, I don't know, 4 games out of under 500 at that point.
DA's got a brand new 4-year, $133 million, starting to get the 5-year, $144 million, and he's still belly aching. He's still bringing that up. So, Rock, I think at that particular juncture, there's still some ill will. My whole contention is if you're not having communication with your head coach, how coachable are you going to be once the regular season starts and he gets in your grill about this, and this? Are you going to tune him out? He says, well, I'll just have to prove it in between the lines, that being DA. I get it. So what communication are you going to have or not have during a game? And at what point does DA just blow you off? Or does CP3 have to get in the middle, take control? Or does Devin Booker to be the go-between to coach him up and keep him moving forward on the court? As those guys are the captains, they're pretty much going to have to be the guys that make sure he's going to continue to play hard.
Hey, real quick, let's squeeze in these comments that Booker made regarding from yesterday's practice about Ayton not talking to Williams.
Talked to each other for a long time. I didn't talk to Coach much at all this summer either. And the times that I did, he stressed the fact of getting away and having that feeling of missing the game, missing your team. And like you said, it's a long season. We're with each other every day. I think it's fine to get away from each other. All about spending the next 7 months, 8 months right on top of each other every day. I mean, we see each other more than we see our family. So I think it's always good to get away, get quiet.
Good company line there, Devin.
Exactly.
Way to toe the company line. That's ridiculous.
I'm listening to company line. I love Tim Kempton, but yesterday on the show, he's defending it, saying, "Oh, this is not a big deal. This is a huge deal. When your head coach doesn't talk to you, it's just like, Manuch, you played at such a high level. You got to tell me when the season's over, you take 6 months off or 5 months off and not hear from your coach?
No way. I told Jimmy,
especially in basketball when there's not 53-man roster.
I talked to my quarterback coach. Chuck Knox would check in with us.
Exactly.
Mini camp, you would talk, all that kind of stuff.
Or even these days, you don't even really need to pick up the phone. That's fine.
You communicate.
Just a text.
Communicate. I mean, I just find this just absolutely absurd. Company line or not, that's abnormal, guys. That's dysfunctional.
There's no way you can fix that. Well, you really think they're saying it? They're going to say it's fixed, right? It's going to be fixed by the time season starts.
Oh, yeah,
it's never going to be fixed. There's no way. That is so deep. That is such a problem. I don't care what radio station you're listening to, what TV station you're listening to, Homer Radio. That's BS. That is such BS. They can spin this anyway. You heard Mark Spears at big-time NBA guys.
Right.
Thought he was at a funeral at Media Day.
That's it.
This is ridiculous. That's why I think there's some serious problems with this team imploding. When there's issues like this, it affects the play on the court. And I'm sorry, Suns fans, you know, take the under when it comes to wins.
And as a Suns fan, I hate to see this
I
going
do
on.
too, but you gotta comment on it.
You do, absolutely. It's absurd. It's dysfunctional.
You can't
right.
spin this any other way.
You can't. Monty, I'm sorry. You know, you're the guy that should have taken this bull by the horns and settled this.
And it's not just that. You got Jay Crowder, another guy this summer. He's mouthing off on Twitter. I mean, come on.
Yeah, this is a little bit out of control right now.
All right. You can tell with the amount of energy I have today.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
It's National Coffee Day.
Yeah, I can tell.
And a few chains have some free coffee deals at 10. I'm going to tell you which ones have them and which ones don't.
I'm waiting
and
for your
how many hours do you think you spend in autopilot? We'll have that next. It's Roc and Manuch from Twin Peaks with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910.
Reflection on some of the more memorable moments in sports and pop culture. Time for your 72 Sold on this day.
You guys are hot.
Get our price, a higher price at 72sold.com.
Buckle up. Brunch is now being served at the local lodge. Wake up with the scratch favorites, and you will love the classic brunch drinks. that won't break the bank. That's 4 locations: Glendale, Scottsdale, here in Phoenix, and in Tempe, Twin Peaks. Yeah, good stuff. Well, National Coffee Day.
Okay.
And a few change. Have some free coffee deals. I'm disappointed with the coffee I had today here at Twin Peaks that Manuch got.
You're claiming me? I didn't make it.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Because it's cold.
Well, we'll get you hot. We'll get you a fresh cup, Rock.
I mean, seriously, I got here right at game time.
You're showing up crying about everything.
I've had 2 days off.
Yeah.
So it's like
Take a bite off.
all that build-up.
We get here at call times a half hour before, so we got the coffees hot by the time we get
I'm
here.
just like, I got like, you put an ice cube in there. I mean, I do like the coffee because the percolated coffee's the best.
Percolated? I haven't heard that term in forever.
Well, the places that do it, like if you go to like a banquet,
yes,
you're at the Wyndham, the Hyatt, whatever.
Sure.
You go in there for a luncheon or something.
Yeah.
Oh, you always got to get the coffee.
So you have to.
Because it's like, it's drip.
Yeah, they'll percolated.
Percolated drip coffee is the best. You can't beat that.
Think of the old Sank.
I bet you use the little thing.
I use the pods. Yeah, I do.
They suck.
Yeah, I like the
They're
pods.
the worst.
Quick.
You're just lazy.
No, I used to do. Sometimes we'll do a regular batch of coffee, but I just like the pods. Boom, get it within 3 or 4 minutes. I get my coffee. I'm in the office. I'm good to go.
So here on National Coffee Day, a few big chains have some free coffee deals. We normally start with Starbucks, which is the worst coffee out there. It is absolutely gasoline. So I drink, but they don't have any deals this year.
None,
unless you're in Canada, they give everything away for free. But no, it seriously, Starbucks is not doing any deals.
They have no deals.
Dunkin' Donuts, the perk members free medium with a purchase.
Okay.
Krispy Kreme, giving away coffee and donuts. Anyone shows up, you get a free coffee or iced coffee.
Okay.
You got a rewards member, they throw in a donut. Pete's Coffee, you get a free coffee if you buy something. Even Burger King, Wendy's, Panera, they all got deals today.
Well, it's because you got Starbucks it's a deal to get. It's a privilege to get their coffee.
It's a rip off to drink their coffee. Seriously, you get a large, it costs like $5, and if you take that large and you put it in a medium cup, it's the same. The same amount of coffee.
It's just the quality.
They rip you off.
Their
coffee sucks.
is absolutely
it's so bad. It's convenient. That's the only reason why they're in business, because they're freaking on every other corner.
Well, you call good gasoline. It's like because that gasoline fuels me. That's for sure.
All right. Also, for our 72 sold on this day, 9 years ago today, man. It seems like it was only like 2 years ago, but 2013, Breaking Bad, the series finale, aired on AMC, and 37 years ago, 1985, MacGyver debuted on ABC. MacGyver ran for 7 seasons.
It did.
Guess where Richard Dean Anderson went to college?
Ohio, Rock.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Remember,
got to get that in there. Our 72 sold on the state report is brought to you by, of course, 72 Sold, America's leading home selling program. There's no better way to sell your home than 72 Sold, the official real estate partner of the Arizona Cardinals and the Arizona Diamondbacks, and of course, Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. For the easiest, fastest, most profitable way to sell your home is at 72sold.com. Get your price, a higher price at 72 Sold. All right, Ben, let's hit it for our Valley Chevy dealers random facts of the day.
Did you know the human head weighs 8 pounds?
Did you know that Troy Aikman in only 6 years has passed for 16,303 yards? Did you know the career record for most hits is 4,256 by Pete Rose, who was not in the Hall of Fame?
Do you know that my next door neighbor has 3 rabbits?
Now time for Fox Sports 910's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B to give you the random facts of the day driven by your Valley Chevy dealers. Find new roads at your Chevy dealer. For a dealer near you, head to valleychevy.com.
All right, our random facts of the day. The first one is American cheese is legally required to be made of at least 2 types of other cheeses. Can you name one or 2 or 3 of those
Cheddar
that are most commonly used to make it?
Cheddar.
Cheddar is, you check that box.
Swiss.
Ugh, no way.
No.
Taste it. Oh, no, Manuch. You ever had American cheese?
Yeah, I had American cheese. I don't use it much anymore.
You don't?
No, I usually go with the provolone, the Swiss.
Ugh.
Yeah. Some with some flavor. American cheese is blah.
The other 2 are Kobe and Jack.
Oh, okay.
Jack cheese, not bad.
A new research shows that the average American will spend just over blank years of their life on autopilot.
Define autopilot.
Yeah.
So autopilot
You
is
mean like when we're doing this show?
It's like, yeah. It's, well, maybe not for you and I, for Manuch, because Manuch doesn't like change.
That is
Everything's the same.
I'm geared all the time.
And when you guys read some of the prep that I give you guys when I'm not here, I was listening the other day, read exactly what I wrote.
He always yells at me. Read it just like I wrote.
No.
And I don't.
Like I did
he yells at
on
me.
purpose for our what's on tap segment. I put, the 3-0 Miami Dolphins at the blank Cincinnati Bengals. You would think a top broadcaster would put their record in.
Yes.
Right before Cincinnati.
Miami and Cincinnati. That's
But you said 3-0 Miami Dolphins, but you decided not to put in the record of the
1 and 2 Bengals. Not a big deal.
So autopilot means routines, rituals, things like that.
Okay.
So how much time do you think you spend on autopilot?
At
work, at school, at home, maybe driving?
Probably 3-4 hours. 4 hours. They just doing that for 4 hours.
Yeah, I'm probably like that.
Yeah.
A day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
1,400 hours a year, 27 hours a week, or almost 4 hours a day.
All right.
So we're all
that
doing
3-4
about
hours.
that
area. Okay.
Yeah. So, hey, there was a report yesterday that the Live Golf,
Yes.
we're going to do what they call paid television.
2 minutes.
Where they're buying their time from FS1. Well, they refuted that report, and that is not accurate and it's incomplete. So they do not have a television network yet. So there you have it. And interesting enough, the UFC has closed off Saturday's UFC Fight Night card in Vegas to the public as well as the media. I got to give them credit. They staged these pregame fights.
Yes,
right?
they do. Yep, they are.
And it draws a lot of attention to pay-per-view on Saturday or watching a fight on Saturday.
Yep.
Dana White, UFC president, this is smart. No one knows why they closed it to the public as well as the media.
The skepticism. The
media gets the night off. They're not going to be part of the fight card. I think that's pretty interesting. Why would they do that? There's got to be something to that.
Are you telling me they're going to fight? Is there going to be an audience in attendance, just not the media?
Dana White said he just wanted to give the media a night off.
I don't get it. I don't understand because it's all about the branding. It's all about the branding.
To it.
He's narcissistic that way. He wants all eyes on everything, pre-fight, fight.
But the fact that this is the only way UFC would have made it into our show today.
Because of that.
We don't follow it.
That's what people are going to talk about.
Yeah. UFC 9.
And by the way, our random facts of the day are brought to you by the Valley Chevy Dealers. Your Valley Chevy dealers serving the Valley for over 80 years. Head to valleychevy.com. Hey, you want a custom backyard patio in your backyard? Well, we'll tell you how you can win one coming up at the top of the hour. We will also talk some Pac-12 football, some SEC football. We're also going to catch up with one of the young ladies here at Twin Peaks. Sierra. For your chance to win a $25 man card. Last week, Bob Crookston won. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
Fox Sports 910.
Ted Robinson, Pac-12 Network, will join us at 2:30. Got some college football to talk about. Week 5, the odds. You got a few matchups pitting some of the ranked teams against each other, including a couple SEC heavyweight games. We are live out here at Twin Peaks Camelback. Thanks to our friends at Blue Moon and Coors Light. It's Roc, Manuch, Jimmy B, and Jax here at Twin Peaks Camelback. And we are here till 4 o'clock. So enjoy. Come on down. Have a man-sized Coors Light draft or Blue Moon. They're on special. While you're here, text Peaks to 55678, and you will be entered to win the customized backyard grill patio set. And you can do it each and every day. Again, that's Peaks to 55678. You can enter once a day. Standard message and data rates apply. Text Peaks to 55678.
Looks like Tua is going to play tonight there in Cincinnati.
Yep.
Good to see that. Boy, when he got dinged last week and started walking off and fell, I'm shocked he came back in the game.
Well,
nothing to see here. He'll be fine. Get the ammonia smelling salts out. All right, I'm good.
Well,
let's go.
The best part about that is that they blew it off. It wasn't a concussion at all. It was his back.
Yeah, he was just he was just a little tweaked.
Yeah.
So he took when he asked what day it was of the week, I think they ignored him. They did not dare to put any kind of fingers up on the sideline, whatever.
No.
But I'm sure they went over the conversation was just grab your back, just fake like your back is sore, and you kind of bent over and like, where am I at again? Yeah, the NFL Players Association had a little heartburn over that, and rightfully so, because they're being so cautious about concussions, about whether guys can come back and play. But that wasn't him buckling because of a back. That was him walking and just being a little dinged.
He got dinged in the head.
He was seeing those stars, that pop up there. But, hey, give him credit. He came back, and they won that game against the Bills, of all people.
So we're out here at Twin Peaks in Phoenix, about 20th Street in Camelback. Our home every Thursday. We're always at a different location. Been doing this for about 5 years. Coming up, as I mentioned, Ted Robinson will join us. We'll talk some college football. And one of the young ladies from Twin Peaks will compete against someone who calls in and is the exact number caller, and that's at about 2:45. Let's get to we have multiple stories we're going to get into right now on Fox Sports 910.
Time for the top local and national stories of the hour. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAC Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Bet big on your favorite teams and players in an environment that's as exciting as the game you're watching. There's no better place in the Valley to get in on the action. The Sportsbook at CAC Sports Bar. Now, guys, what's your top story this hour?
We got a few. Nationally, do you guys think that the service academies should get a mulligan for violations, any type of violations?
I think it's horrible what they did to Air Force. That's the NCAA. If you don't know the story, they handed Air Force recruiting violations. How can you do that to the service academy?
Well, it's all fair and love and war.
I get that.
Pardon the pun there. I'm like you, Rock. I'm like, okay.
I mean, they get probation for 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
They're serving our country.
And they basically did some of the same stuff that Arizona State did.
Sure, they did.
Right? It was recruiting violations during the COVID dead period.
Yep.
So I'm sitting there, and I saw that this morning. I was like, come on, really?
But
it looked the other way. This is why it's got to be. It comes with the current administration.
The Air Force.
I can tell you, the old administration, that would not happen. Guy would put his foot down.
Sure.
Trump would put his foot down, so you can't do that.
Here's the thing.
You guys aren't touching it.
No, we're not. No.
I know Jimmy will because he sleeps on the left.
No,
but
here's the thing.
You're in the middle.
Yeah. I'm not a Trump fan, but I would say.
Come on, somebody needs to step in. You can't have violations against Air Force.
I agree. But they self-reported, Rock. They're the ones with the NCAA. That line coach.
But just because you self-report doesn't mean you should get in trouble.
Okay, so nothing to see here. So you had all these violations. We're going to go hammer ASU.
That's why they're there for us.
Go hammer there. And
you trust them.
No, I agree. I mean, they're serving our country. They should get a mulligan. They should go, okay.
They should get so many mulligans.
I mean, you guys do whatever you want. You're serving our country.
Yes.
Here's the other thing. On top
and
of
they got to pay a fine.
Yeah, they only get 2 hours of actual field practice, period.
That is correct.
At the academies. So that's why you only see wishbone or veer option, or you only see so much offense because they only have a limited amount of time, because those young men who are serving our country only have maybe 3 hours total at the facility because they're on their books, they're tutoring, they're going through all their other stuff. Yeah, I'm like that. I didn't realize they can get violated.
I know, that's why it's such a big story, I think. So here's what it is. So they get a fine. We don't know what that is. Yeah. They get recruiting restrictions, including a reduction of 46 total official visits over the next 2 academic years. They get a ban of unofficial visits from September through October, certain dates in there. 4-week ban on recruiting communications during the academic year. A reduction of 34 evaluation days, and a reduction in the size of the football roster by 10 for 4 years. Are you kidding me on that one?
That's ridiculous.
They should have they should have an extra 40 guys on their roster if they won.
If you qualify, you're getting in. The one thing that did come out of it, this is setting precedent for when ASU gets hammered.
Yes.
Here's the comp right there. There's the comp. You recruited during COVID, during the dead period, and the egregiousness that ASU. You wonder how much more they'll add to this, because there's your comp. Yeah. There's the NCAA comp right there. Okay, we'll take that. And ASU, this is what you did. We'll compare them. All right, this is what we're going to do for you. So I'm just curious, what's the NCAA, now that they got this,
okay, but
come back to ASU.
Do we know which would happen first? Because they're right around the same time. So does this tell us that ASU's coming down this week or next week?
I think it's going to be this month. Or I should say, since October, we're all October. Yeah. Yes, let me phrase that.
And why wouldn't it be if you got this?
Yes, October. And I think they're going to drop the hammer on them, just like what you just saw at Air Force.
It's interesting. Air Force is getting on probation.
Exactly. That's my point.
You I agree, Ron.
Accept that, guys.
I agree. I'm like right there with you. You think you get, as you said, get a mulligan, they get a reprieve,
slap their hand, and that's it.
They get a leave, whatever you want to call it. Any kind of military vernacular you want to use, these guys should be able to do whatever they want. But I know the NCAA's got to go, okay, you're playing NCAA competition.
They are.
It's FCS.
It's D1 football.
D1 football. We all got to play with the same rules, same guidelines. Okay, I agree. But if it's this egregious, then they have no choice but to do this. I'm just waiting to see how many other schools are going to come down with the void that hit with the COVID situation.
Several years ago, I did an Air Force Navy game, and it was in Colorado Springs, where Air Force is, and it was in September, so the weather was gorgeous, and it was the opening home game for Air Force. I'm telling you guys, the pageantry. I was down on the field. They flew Navy planes over the stadium, Air Force jets over the stadium. The place was totally electric. One of the best experiences I've ever had just calling a game. And I got to do it while I was down on the field before I had to head up to the press box. This is terrible. Look, it's not like they have top secret papers at their house. Okay, they don't have that. I don't get this at all. It's a slap on the wrist. It's a slap on the wrist. And, okay, now don't do it again.
I don't think the Mountain West Conference would complain. No. You guys are serving our country.
I'm with you.
And if you're a coach, if you're Boise State taking on Air Force, it's like, okay, whatever. You know, you guys are good to go.
So last hour we played the 61 from Aaron Judge, and we talked about the fact that it's kind of anticlimactic compared to what we saw with Mark McGuire. Last Saturday, Twitter almost blew up because there were a lot of fans that were upset that they were doing these cut-ins to Aaron Judge during the broadcasts, okay?
And it was the Wake Forest game that they were so upset about.
And they're going to do it again this weekend.
They are.
And now it's all 3 Yankee games this weekend will be on the Major League Baseball Network and will be on the Yes Network and on some other networks as well. And I guess there's some fans that are just losing their you-know-what because they don't care about the 60-second home run that he's going to hit.
They don't. And look,
possibly.
And it's going to come sooner or later.
I know.
I belabor the fact.
It's in New York. It's in the Bronx.
That's why.
The Orioles.
They cut in when Pete Rose was chasing Joe DiMaggio's 56-hit record, and he was at like 47. and they would cut to Pete Rose at the plate to see if
2
he
minutes.
would get a hit. The networks did.
Yeah.
Then later, what we just discussed, McGuire and Sosa, back in '98, they would indeed cut when those guys were at the plate as well.
But Jimmy, that's fine back then. Now, my phone will go off, and the video will be up in literally 30 seconds.
Sure will.
Yeah. I don't need to see it on the broadcast.
Now, my phone goes off, but I just can't watch it on my phone.
By the way, Jimmy has one of those StarTacs, the flip phone. I still can't believe you still have that. You said you have a couple more weeks?
I can keep it for another month, then I have to upgrade.
Do me a favor, you should put that in some kind of case.
I'm going to
display it on your manor.
I should do that.
It's not a StarTech; it's below a StarTech. I think it's like a Walmart
It's
special.
just a flip phone, isn't it? What brand is that?
Verizon.
No, like the kind of
LG.
phone.
Verizon, LG.
No, I think it's like, dude, this thing's awesome.
Rock can open it up.
Dude, hey, there's no video.
Hey, don't feel bad, Jimmy. I had my flip phone for many years doing the show with Ron. So I converted over to
I'm not
my
gonna lie.
phone.
I wish I still had my flip phone. I mean, we rely on it. I think I had carpal tunnel being on it so much.
I never call anybody. I never.
Oh my gosh, I do that
all
constantly.
the time. Yeah, I never butt call anybody.
It's the
with a
worst.
phone.
I call people on purpose. I never butt call. Oh, what are you doing?
See, your number comes do not answer on my phone. So, hey, we are out here at Twin Peaks, as I mentioned. Text Peaks to 55678 for your chance for this. Pretty cool because it's customized patio grill set for your backyard, and if you don't need one in your backyard, well, you can re-gift it. So it's worth about $7,000. So text Peaks to 55678. So college football week 5 odds feature a few matchups against a couple ranked teams, including SEC battle. We're going to get into that, plus an update on the college football playoff expansion. We're talking some college football. We're live from Twin Peaks Phoenix. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910. You know, Manuch, if my headset's not on, you're allowed to, bring us back.
You know what? I was in deep discussion with Jax here, talking about my flying
No,
Kansas State
you were
Wildcats.
waving your hand, Manuch. You're like, Rock, let's go. We're back on.
So I had my second cup of coffee going strong here at Twin Peaks.
National Coffee
That's right,
Day,
man.
guys. So I'm going for the record. I'm on 7
Are
right
you
now.
what?
Oh, I'm gonna be wired.
You were asleep for
7
days.
right now, baby. Watch out.
It says all the products.
Motor
out there.
Mike right here. Motor Mouth. We are out here at Twin Peaks. We're going to talk some college football. Week 5. The average ticket price for the Michigan-Iowa game this weekend. It's the most expensive college football ticket of the week.
Yep.
According to TickPick. So what is it?
I didn't look to see what it was. I just saw that it was on a tweet the most expensive
I'll
ticket.
say $525.
I'm going to say it's 600.
Jax?
I'll go 400K. I'll go lower.
400,000?
No.
You said 400K. You mean 400?
400.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
400K.
You guys are way off. $227.
Wow. Well,
the
that's-
get-in price is $93.
Wow. Well, that shows you Iowa stinks.
3-1?
They
Well,
stink.
their offense.
They can't
They
score.
do mix in a touchdown periodically. That Iowa State game,
I don't think they
yeah.
scored. I don't think they scored a touchdown in the last 6 quarters, something like that. I could be wrong on that stat, but there's a stat that's something like that.
No, they finally scored touchdowns
They had the worst
against Rutgers when they beat
The
Rutgers.
Iowa State-Iowa game might have
Yes.
been one of the worst football games I've ever seen.
It was awful.
Penalties,
Yes.
turnovers. What was the final? 3-2
No,
Iowa
no,
State?
it was 10-7.
I know in the bottom of the 10th, it was really
Iowa State
they ran
went-
out of pitching.
Iowa State went 99 yards and finally scored a touchdown to win the game.
Oh, man, was the final 10-7?
10-7.
Yeah, it was one of those barn burners
Oh, man, it was awful.
in Iowa, of all places.
Yeah.
But smash mouth football when these two get together.
Now, Michigan's going to pound them.
So you have 5 ranked matchups this week. That ties for the most in a regular season week since 2017. Depends on who you support. I think the big game, one of the biggest, is Clemson and North Carolina State. North Carolina State is having a really good year.
Mhm.
Clemson got squeaked by Wake Forest last week. Kentucky at Ole Miss. Alabama at Arkansas, Oklahoma State at Baylor, and Wake Forest at Florida State. So you got to buckle up on this one because there's going to be some really good games. Kind of to give you an idea, if you want to kind of start on your honeydew list now so you can have some time to watch the games on Saturday because they all start. The first one is the Wildcats and the Rebels. They'll go at it at 9 o'clock on ESPN. And what's great about Kentucky, they're getting back one of their best running backs. We haven't seen him yet this year. His name is Chris Rodriguez Jr. He's going to make his debut.
Yep.
He was suspended for the first 4 games, and it's much needed because Kentucky's averaging less than 66 yards a game and lowest in the Power 5. So that should be a good one. But it's the 12:30 window. That is what you got to make your plans around. So you can get a lot of stuff done early in the morning.
Okay.
But at 12:30, you got the Crimson Tide and the Razorbacks.
Yep.
It's at Arkansas.
It's at Arkansas.
Upset alert.
It could be, or at least when it comes to the spread.
I think Arkansas plays them much more tough than what people think.
Yeah.
I think that they'll be in the game most of the time, especially after we saw Alabama and Texas and how they struggled there.
I think that's one of those games. If you bet halves, you bet that first half.
yeah,
You know. Also in the 12:30 on Fox 10, it's Oklahoma State and Baylor. Well, it's Oklahoma State's first test of the season. Who they had? Arizona State.
Yeah.
They had Central Michigan. I think they had Arkansas, Pine Bluff, or Pine Bluff, excuse me.
Yes.
So we'll see how that one turns out. But that'll be a road game against number 16 Baylor. Could be a good indicator if Oklahoma State is a contender or a pretender. Wake Forest and Florida State also at 12:30. I think the big storyline here is Florida State back. They're ranked for the first time in 4 years.
Correct.
Now, if you're a Seminole fan, you'd be like, man, it seems like it's been 20 years, but it's been 4, and it's been a long road for them. They've had some changes at head coach, and now they're 4-0. It's their best start in 5, 6, 7 years.
They played great on that road game at Louisville and won that game. It was a terrific football game to watch.
Well, it set the tone by beating LSU in the opening game.
Big time.
And I think Mike Norvell's finally getting the kind of athlete he wants at Florida State from the quarterback perspective. And he's finally replenished the receivers and the skill guys that have abandoned him over the last several years.
Yes.
And the portal helped him a lot, too.
Oh, yeah. You got to utilize that transfer portal. You've got to.
And Florida State, again, if they take care of Wake Forest here, we'll know if they're a contender or a pretender. Then a game that I mentioned on the outset, and that's at 4:30, and that's North Carolina State and Clemson.
Ooh, good game there,
NC
buddy.
State, an actual top 10 team. They're the first time they've been in the top 10 since 2002. Or excuse me, 2002.
2000.
Tell me who the quarterback was then.
Ooh, Mike
For
Horner.
the Wolfpack
No,
in
it
2002.
No, it was Manuch. It's a guy who used to throw the football like a loaf of bread. Went to San Diego with the
my God, Philip Rivers.
Yes.
Yeah, Philip Rivers. Wow.
So a win on the road over a Clemson team could prove a lot of people, and that'll be interesting. So a lot of good games this week. We'll get into the Pac-12
Oh, wait a
play.
minute, Rock, you didn't mention the USC ASU game.
I was going to save that for Ted Robinson.
Or the Arizona game and Colorado.
If you recall, if you recall what I said when I started,
I know.
I said, we have some 5 ranked matchups in week
USC
5.
is ranked in the top 10.
This will be a good scrimmage for them.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah, ranked teams playing ranked teams.
I got you.
Those are the ones that we talked
Come
about.
on.
So 9, it was interesting. If you look back to last week, 9 of the top 15 teams played 1 possession games. You really look at that. I was at a game, so it was a blowout in Ohio State, but Wisconsin. But think about that. 9 of the top 15 teams played 1 possession games. I mean, that's unbelievable. That's a great weekend of football.
Well, I think a lot of it.
How are you going to match that?
It's great football because I think the parity is abounding even more so with the portal, with the transferring, all that. I think it's really spreading it out. And I think, quite frankly, you're talking about the Pac-12 with Ted Robinson coming up here in our next segment. The parity we're seeing, all of a sudden, you got, Washington coming out of nowhere. Cal's 3-1. We're talking about USC, Oregon, they're 3-1. And you're seeing some of that spread out. I think nationally you're seeing that as well, too, guys, from that particular standpoint. And I think it's interesting when you look at Washington taking on UCLA. Washington, 15th ranked, taking on an unranked 4-0 UCLA team. Really hasn't played anybody per se, but they're unranked at 4-0. It's interesting to see that.
But they played teams that would have, like, the 3 of us on it. That's who they have played.
Like Eastern Washington. Did they play Eastern Washington?
No, they did not.
I'm not shooting up. I'm not shooting up.
Put me in. I got a quarter left in me.
Yeah, I know.
I got a quarter. Jim will put you out slot.
Hit me with a quick slant.
We'll put Jax out of wide out. We'll have
Jax is going to be our guy.
Yeah, he's our guy.
All you need is just, what do you say, Manuch? A 10 and a button hook or just go long?
We got hook route. We got comebacks. We got out routes.
Quick slants.
Jax, split right.
Good with that.
We'll also give him split right 63X post corner.
Let me do a button hook, and we'll be in great shape.
That's all Jimmy and I need to do. It's just go 10 yards, turn around.
Oh, yeah.
And the ball will be right there.
The term button hook I haven't heard since like 90 years. I haven't heard the term.
That's the only one I used to do when I was steady quarterback with the Nerf.
Pole to pole.
Yeah.
So the CFP commissioners wrapped up their meetings in Chicago. They met Tuesday and yesterday. And according to Executive Director Bill Hancock, good friend of the program, I ran into him recently, said hello, and he's a big Manucci fan, Kansas State. Because I think he went to Kansas State or Kansas.
He
just knew about you for some reason.
He was in the Big 8 office when I was at Kansas State.
Okay, so a long time ago.
Long time ago.
So maybe no, I'm not going to go there.
He
he said that they've made some progress. Okay. And of course, they're hoping to expand this thing by 2024. So no final decisions made publicly, no specifics, answers, or details were provided. What I don't understand, they're going to have another meeting on the 20th in Dallas.
Okay.
I think it's either Bill that's having these meetings and is giving them something to do to have a meeting every month. And his commissioners are they want to stay in a hotel. They want the per diem. How can they not freaking figure this out by now? They have meetings every month. It can't be that difficult to figure this out. I understand working with the TV folks, that's a big deal.
Yep.
But the current TV contracts expire after 2025. So let's go. Let's move forward. College fans want to know what the next step is. This is ridiculous that it takes so long for the commissioners to make decisions.
I think, and part of it is not so much is just trying to figure out how to divvy the pot with the 12 teams. How they're going to divvy this?
There you go.
The bowl games, I think, will be in set.
Okay.
There's a lot
These
of
commissioners are all, Harvard grad, Ivy League guys. There's some smart guys in that room and gals that should be able to figure this out.
I think if you get
this is all they do, Manuch.
Get the CPAs in the room, the attorneys,
they're there,
figure it out, and I think from there. And matter of fact, I think was it last week somebody was going, okay, if the top, I think it was the top 12 or top 15 teams were to go ahead and start like last week, they had a 3 beating a 12, and with all the parity and upsets, it was like 2 weeks ago, they would have had like a 1 and a 12. There would have been like some major upsets moving forward into the second week, aside from those that have the bye.
That's great. Don't we want that?
Yes. I love that. I think it's great.
Yeah. There's been so many scenarios. It can't be this hard to figure it out.
I think it's about the money.
It is
and
about
how they divvy it up.
About the schools. That's obvious, but come on, there's some pretty smart people that can figure out this.
I can tell you this: if the commissioner of the SEC and the commissioner of the Big Ten could get rid of everybody else in football, they would definitely do it, and it would just be those 2 conferences, and that would be it.
That
would be it.
Is the what do they call it? The fly in the ointment? Is it the Rose Bowl? You think that they're the last the Mohicans to give in one way or the other?
No, it's not a give-in thing. The bowls will be part of it. It doesn't
I
change
know that.
anything.
I know that.
It gives the Rose Bowl possibly an opportunity to host 2 games.
I would think that. I would think that should be an issue.
AZTV Channel 7 is your new home for college football here in Arizona, featuring schools that have produced some of the game's best athletes. Great football, high-energy halftime bands, and coverage that you won't find on any other station. This week, it is Grambling State hosting Prairie View A&M.
Right. 2
teams, I think both are 1-2 or 1-3. Game starts at 4 o'clock on AZTV Channel 7. So, Washington, UCLA, are they the 2 surprises of the Pac-12? Can they sustain their undefeated seasons? Well, Pac-12 Network's Ted Robinson will break it all down next. We'll talk some Pac-12 football. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B from Twin Peaks in Phoenix on Fox Sports 910. had 4 Pac-12 teams in the top 15. That's the first time since November of 2016. In fact, the last time this conference had 4 teams in the top 15, you got to go, man, back to September 30th, 1986. And that's top 15 heading into a week 5. Joining us now to talk some Pac-12 football, we'll be calling one of the good ones this weekend, Oregon State at Utah. Ted Robinson now on the right Twitter guest line. Hey, Ted, Roc and Manuch and Jimmy B, how you doing?
Hey, guys, how are you? 1986, Manuch was still spinning it, wasn't he?
Absolutely, I was still spinning it. Don't you ever forget it either.
The clipboard?
Always staying ready back in those days, Ted. You just always had to be ready.
And Ted was calling games, I'm sure
was.
for you, right?
Yeah.
Ted, how long have you been calling games? College football. Oh, come on.
My first year real college football was 1985 at Stanford. So I've had a few years off since 85, but not many.
Wow. Who's your biggest surprise right now in the Pac-12? If I was to put you on the spot.
Well, it has to be Washington. The difference that a quarterback makes. So Manuch would love this. I mean, I just, guys, look, the biggest difference in the conference to me, without question, the quarterback play was subpar last year across the conference. It's much better this year. And it's the transfers that are doing it. And Penix and Washington is at the top of the list. That offense looks good. And now, like, I saw Kalen DeBoer last year at Fresno. I had a feeling he was good, and it was a good hire for Washington. It's going to turn out. I think it's going to turn out real good. But that Washington right now is the biggest surprise. Now, the only caveat is they haven't traveled yet. So we'll get a better read on them tomorrow night.
And with that, with UCLA, the Chip Kelly era, that quarterback, what's he on his 10th year in the league now as far as being UCLA? I love it. I'm a Chip Kelly fan, but I've just always wondered if when does smoke and mirrors meet reality? And I think that this year they're really playing good football, though they haven't played that many good teams. But again, a true litmus test for the Bruins.
Yes, no doubt. Look, at least UCLA proved they could win on the road. Now, Colorado's in a bad place, but UCLA went in and beat them pretty handily. It's interesting, guys. Chip he's never been 5 years in a place. This is the first time he's ever been the coach 5 straight years, pro or college, and he's never had a quarterback start for him more than 2. So he has a 5th-year quarterback, and I'm not sure that he really wanted DTR back this year, but Thompson Robinson chose to come back. I think he probably looked at his draft reading and thought maybe I'll give it one more year. But they should score points is what I'm saying. And I saw them live against South Alabama. They very easily could have lost that game because their challenge is still going to be defense. Can they they're not going to stop people. Can they slow them down? Slow them down enough to win.
Ted, it's interesting. There's some very winnable games. We talk about potential upsets, but watching that Oregon State game last week against USC, I mean, if it's not for USC scoring, 14 in that last quarter. OSU, what Coach Smith has done there is amazing. So I'm just curious, you got that game against Utah. What have you seen out of this OSU team that, not surprising, but it's consistent that this is a good football team and not a fluke?
Well, their defense and their secondary, ASU, for example, had experienced secondaries the last 2 years people thought were high level. Oregon State has that this year. They have experience. They have size back there. That may be the best secondary in the league. And they showed it last week because they kind of controlled a really good group of receivers at USC. Where Oregon State may be lacking a little bit right now is the explosive offense, that explosive run or pass, and hopefully both. But, look, last week, the over-under was 70 guys.
Yes.
The final was 17-14. I mean, no one, including myself, ever dreamt the game was going to be like that. But I think Oregon State is going to have to play more controlled scoring games. I don't know that they're going to win a whole lot of, 40-35s.
Ted, take me then to USC. They're going to be matched up against Arizona State, be more like a scrimmage for the Trojans at home. But how important is it for USC to be back in the top 10 for the Pac-12? Does it put the Pac-12 back on the map?
Well, yeah, there's 2 answers to that question. One is the impact, which you touched on. Look, when USC's good, people talk about the league, and it's blunt. It's USC football and UCLA basketball. Those are the 2 tentpole sports in our conference. And so when those are good nationally, people pay attention. Second point, though, is despite what's happening in 2 years' time, if USC makes the playoff this year, the cash register rings in every one of the 12 schools. So trust me, they are rooting like heck for USC.
Yes.
Maybe not the Saturday against their own school, but believe me, USC makes the playoff this year. The Pac-12 schools all benefit. So there is definitely an importance in that regard.
Do you think in a game like this where it's obvious that USC is a more dominant team than Arizona State, that this is a lot of eyes are on them, so they're going to really kind of run up the score if they can to make a statement?
Yeah, well, I don't know Lincoln Riley well enough to know that, guys. I have seen them play twice, and they didn't really run the score up on Rice first game, which I had. I don't know enough about that. What I would say is this is the clear challenge for them, is understanding where ASU football is right now. Plus, they're at home, which means they're going to have all the rah-rah, and it's a night game, so you're going to have all the old Pete Carroll kind of sizzle on the it's coming back to the Coliseum. So that's going to be your test for Lincoln Riley. It's just, hey, guys, just go out and kick their tail. Jump them early, make sure you get them down, and then, you should be okay. Don't let this become a more difficult game than it needs to be.
Ted Robinson, Pac-12 Network, joining us here on the right, trying to get aside. You look at Utah, this is a consistent, ho-hum, another win. As vanilla as they look, they're really not that vanilla. But what is it about those Utah teams you see year in and year out that they're always going to be at the top of the Pac-12, Ted?
Yeah, line play. I mean, it's the best. I've said this, in my opinion, having been with the conference since it went to 12 and the network since day one. It's the best football program over the first 10 years of our network. Utah, day in, day out, the best program. And it's marked by line play. What used to be the signature of USC, what was for a while the signature of Stanford in the glory years of Andrew Luck and Kevin Hogan and David Shaw. Stanford had the line play. They've fallen in that regard. USC has fallen dramatically and is starting to rebound. Utah, year in and year out, line play. And let's face it, and I've said that as the Dominican Republic has been for baseball in terms of being a real source outside of the United States of talent, the Polynesian world is that way for football.
Yeah.
And it just is. And big-bodied, athletic linemen on both sides of the ball, and as well as linebackers, but that's just reality. And Utah has been at the forefront of becoming a very comfortable place, a very welcoming place for Polynesian football players. And that's just fact. And you watch any one of the games in our conference on any Saturday, just count the number of players from Polynesian descent that are playing for all of the conference teams. The Northwest schools in Utah leading the way.
There you go with that. Look, we've already seen a lot of surprises in college football as far as coaches getting the axe. Herm Edwards, you had Scott Frost at Nebraska. You had a change at Georgia Tech as well. Boise State. I mean, the list is endless. Could there be a change coming in Colorado as well, Ted?
Wow. Yeah, that's the big question.
3 minutes.
That situation, from the first year of Carl Durrell, which was the COVID year, but they played well and everybody was jazzed and excited, to year 3 now, which is just appears to be in every way a disaster. And that's radically concerning. I think you have 2 issues there. One is the exodus of players. The number of really good players that have left is concerning if I'm Colorado. Like, why Christian Gonzalez is one of the best defensive backs in the conference, and he left after last year and transferred to Oregon. And he's starting at Oregon. And he will be an NFL player within a year or 2. Broussard, the running back, went to join his old coach, Mel Tucker, at Michigan State. That's a concern. And then the other issue is going to be, can Carl, with his NFL pedigree and NFL cred, can he recruit? That should be a plus. But, as we know, Colorado doesn't have a ton of in-state talent, so you're going to have to go outside. It's why they wanted to be in the Pac so badly, was to get access to Southern California. And can he do that? I think the answers to those are very much up in the air. And I will say this, guys, let me just say this, because I don't understand this trend. It's becoming way more of a trend of what ASU just did. I don't know what it gets you. USC last year is the blueprint. Their season completely disintegrated when they let Clay Helton go, Because in this era of
2 minutes.
football, the day, I guarantee you within 30 minutes of Herm being let go, 25 players on ASU had their phones blowing up, hey, get in the portal and come play for me next year.
Yeah.
And by the way, every coach still there is a free agent now. Every coach is a free agent. They know they're not going to be here next year. So what have you gained? And that's the problem. I know the fans demand, but boy, Washington State people hold that up as an example. No. Apples and oranges. Their change last year had nothing to do with football.
Right.
It had to do with the law.
Yes.
Their football was okay, and Jake Dickert has built on it, which is great, but it's not comparable at all to these other situations.
He's Ted Robinson. He's calling Oregon State at Utah, and Oregon State beat the Utes last year in Corvallis. So you never know. 12 o'clock on the Pac-12 Network. Ted, we always appreciate it, man. Thank you. Have a good call week this weekend.
All right, great people. Anytime I can talk about Manuch spinning the ball, you've made my day.
Thank you, Ted. I appreciate that. Yeah. It's always good. I'll pop that check in the mail this afternoon, big fella.
You better pound it. That's Ted Robinson. Pac-12 Network again. Of course, they got a bunch of games this week, but he'll be calling the 12 o'clock game right there on the Pac-12 Network. October 1st is Saturday.
Yeah,
Jeez.
I know.
He's brought to us by All City Towing. They continue to grow. They're hiring. Go to allcitytowing.com. They got immediate full-time positions available. They got incredible benefits. They got a 401k, a generous match, and the fastest way to apply is online, allcitytowing.com. Just search careers. Well, it's back, our 15th annual Twin Peaks Fan Pick'em Contest, powered by Blue Moon and Coors Light. Just pick each week's pro games for weekly man cards. This year, grand prize, still got plenty of time. We take the top 11 weeks. Is a trip to Hawaii. You can take the $5,000 cash. Just go to fanpick'em.com. So far this year, the first 3 weeks, Bruce Meyer from Chandler, Speedo Jackson, 1 week, 2 from Phoenix, and Brandon McQueen from Sun City West. He took week 3. So get in now. Go to fanpick'em.com. You can get your picks in right now. But right now, we need a caller. We'll take the 5th caller at 602-260-9191 for our Twin Peaks Picks, brought to you by Coors Light and Blue Moon. You'll compete against one of the Twin Peaks girls here at the Camelback location for a $25 man card. And for what it's worth, you can always come down to any of the 4 Twin Peaks locations. Get yourself some man-sized Coors Lights and Blue Moon. So we'll take the 5th caller, 602-260-9191. It's the Twin Peaks Challenge. Next on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Odd Couple. Mic check. With Chris Broussard and Rob Parker.
I don't get the Josh McDaniels. I don't. He didn't
girls are the essential ingredient to the perfect lodge experience. Each week, our girl next door Twin Peaks contestant takes on a Fox Sports 910 listener for 3 games. Get the most picks right and win a $25 man card for one of the 4 Valley Twin Peaks locations: Scottsdale, Phoenix, Glendale, and Tempe. Don't forget man-sized Coors Light draft specials every Thursday at Twin Peaks.
Beer.
Time for Peaks Picks.
Guys are hot.
All right, we do it every week. We've been doing it for about 5 years now. And the Twin Peaks gals have just owned it. Tierra is here, and she's going to be competing against Martine Gonzalez. Martine from Phoenix. So hang in there, Martine. We'll get to you. Our games today are the Dolphins at the Bengals, which is tonight's game, which if you don't have Amazon, you can watch it at any of the 4 Valley Twin Peaks locations. We're at the Camelback location. Then we'll do Arizona State at USC, and then the Cardinals at Carolina. And that's a game where you got to pick the winner and then give us the score. This is all brought to you by Blue Moon and Coors Light. We got the man-sized draft specials going on right now. Happy hour starts in 10 minutes. Tierra, is that correct? 3 o'clock?
Correct. 3 o'clock to 6, and then 10 to close.
And we finally got an athlete here.
We do. About time.
As you ran track at Minnesota, so you're a gopher, lady gopher, right?
Oh, Minnesota State.
Minnesota State, okay.
But we was good.
You
Champions.
got it? Okay. And where are you from originally?
Minnesota.
You are from Minnesota? Okay.
Yeah.
How long you been in the Valley?
8 months.
Oh, you just moved here?
I'm new.
You like it?
It's okay. I like it. It's different. It's different. I'm adjusting.
If you can make 1 year, you'll be here forever.
You think?
I moved here from Ohio, and that was in May 1992, and I'm still here.
So I'm going to be here forever.
You're here. You're going to love it.
He survived
You're
the
going to
summer.
love it. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. All right, let's get to our picks, and then we'll talk about everything else that's going on here. So, all right, first game. The Dolphins and the Bengals. It's a game tonight in Cincinnati. The Dolphins haven't lost a game yet. Bengals have only lost 1, so they're 2-1, and Dolphins are 3-0. Who would you like to see win this one?
I'm going Bengals.
Let's go Bengals.
Going Bengals.
All right, Martine. Who you going with, buddy?
All right, so I was going to go Bengals as well. I actually think it's the Dolphins, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to go Bengals as well. I just think they're going to show out those new unis tonight, the all-white helmet. I think that they get back on board today and show everyone they're a true contender, and I think they get the win. Bengals.
Manuch, what do I need you for? I got Martine.
Done, man.
He's
Martine.
breaking it down.
Absolutely.
Good job.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, game number 2, Tierra, ASU at USC. Sun Devils are really struggling. They got a new coaching staff, what have you. USC, one of the top teams in the nation. It's at the Coliseum. Who are you going with, ASU, the Sun Devils, or the Trojans of USC? You thinking that every once in a while a blind squirrel finds a net that ASU might upset one of the top teams in the nation?
Or USC is going to blow them out?
Let's do UFC.
USC,
yeah.
All right,
blow them out.
USC. All right, Martine, break this one down for me.
All right, yeah. So I'm an ASU alumni. I mean, we are atrocious right now. I can't even lie. I wish I could say I had some pride in my team right now. Herm Edwards is gone. I do think we are going to play a little better, but we are definitely not going to play good enough to beat one of the best teams in college football right now. So Caleb Williams is my guy as well. So I'm going to go with USC by blowout.
Okay, so you both took the same team, so it's going to come down to this one. Arizona Cardinals, Carolina Panthers in Charlotte, playing there. Could be some weather because of the hurricane. We need to know the winner and then the score of the game.
Tierra.
So she is in broadcast. She understands that pause.
She does, that little pregnant pause.
We call it the pregnant pause. Male or female.
She's
So we do have a clock.
Yeah,
so
before
we can hang out with you all day if you like.
Before the sun goes down.
Okay, give me the options one more time. Let me hear it one more time.
So Cardinals and Panthers. Who would you like to see win?
It's at Carolina.
Let's do Panthers.
Okay, and the
score?
Yeah.
Let's do 35 to 31.
Ooh, close one. I like that.
Something fun.
All right. Martine, it's going to come down to this for the $25 man card.
I'm going to go with the Cardinals. I'm not even a Cardinals fan, but I think it's hard to trust Baker Mayfield in that offense right now. So I'm going to go Cardinals. They pull out a gutsy win over McCaffrey and the Panthers. I'll go 24-17 Cardinals.
Okay. Martine, I got to tell you, good job, man. Seriously, I like how you broke it down, so appreciate that. Thanks for playing. Good luck to you. So there's Martine in Phoenix, and so you got a shot. You got a shot.
Do I?
Yes. You just never know. You never know.
No pressure because I think the girls have won all but one, maybe.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't want to add to the losing.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I think you did all right. We'll see.
did
So
well.
we'll
2
know.
minutes.
We'll be back here in a few weeks, so we'll have to catch you again. So if you win or lose, you're gonna be able to redeem yourself. You could be a regular if you like. So you good with that?
Hell yeah.
All right.
Am I allowed to swear?
That's not really swearing, but it's borderline. But
Perfect.
that's all right.
Won't do it again.
And we have a 7-second delay if Ben back to the iHeartRadio studios is paying attention. But there you have it. Hey, appreciate it, and good luck to you. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Good
Thanks,
stuff.
Sierra. Appreciate that.
Hey, again,
Bye.
if you want to win that grill for your backyard, all you got to do is text Peaks to 55678. That's Peaks to 55678. All right, so Coolio, sadly, was found dead yesterday on his bathroom floor of a friend's house in Los Angeles. He was 59, best known for this song, The Gangsta's Paradise. It won him a Grammy in 1995 for the best rap solo performance. But we don't have time to play it, so we will play it later in honor of him. So that'll be our Learner Row 1 call, I think. Right? What do you say?
I would
Do
say
that?
so. Good song. Very good song. Go way back.
Big time. Big time.
Hell of a movie, too, by the way.
Somebody in our notes said he was in Philly and was invited to a party. That wasn't you, Manuch.
No, wasn't me.
Guarantee wasn't Manuch.
Had to be. Was that
So
you?
Jimmy B.
Was that Jimmy B, maybe?
You got invited to a party
30
before
seconds.
the game?
Before the game,
Why would that be that? You're going to go to a party with Coolio. It's got to be after.
No. It was
Because you won't make the game.
No, it was. You're right about that. It was the night before.
The night before. Okay.
So he recovered.
I was able to recover then. Yeah, all he and I did was sit around and talk basketball. That's all we did. He was a big hoop fan.
Wow. Coolio. Dead at 59. Hour number 3 is coming up.
I'm a turn.
RockandRoll.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch.
You guys are hot.
On Fox Sports 910.
All right, we're out here at Twin Peaks Camelback, 20th Street and Camelback. We call it the Twin Peaks Camelback. Twin Peaks Scotts. I wanted to say Scottsdale.
Phoenix. Twin Peaks Phoenix.
Well, you know,
Twin Peaks Camelback.
I'm at the Scottsdale one a lot, taking advantage of the man-sized draft specials with Blue Moon and Coors Light, which they have here tonight every Thursday at all 4 locations, soon to be 5, Twin Peaks. And right now we have an incredible contest. If you remember last year, we gave away the huge arcade machine, the 3,000, 4,000 games. This year we stepped up to a whole nother level, and we're giving away a customized backyard patio grill set. And you could win one. It's very easy. You just got to text PEAKS to 55678. That's PEAKS to 55678. It's courtesy of Blue Moon and Coors Light. You can enter once a day. Standard message and data rates apply. Coming up this hour, we are going to give you our dog pick of the week. I am undefeated.
Yeah, Rock, you are, man.
Undefeated.
You need to go to Vegas for another assignment.
No, but we're doing the right thing. So we do it every Thursday at about 3:15, where we take underdogs. And if we win, it's a $25 donation to the Humane Society. We're doing it all year long. So it's you want to win. But all the losses are the ones they're supposed to pay. But I think we may flip it out and just at the end of the day, the way I want to give.
Yeah, you
so maybe we need to switch it to wins.
I finally won one.
No, it doesn't count.
Why does it count?
No.
Why?
It's a bunch of BS.
It's BS.
It doesn't count.
Why doesn't it count?
Because last week I wasn't here. This would have not happened if I was here.
Well, what happened? I picked a dog. And
you took a dog. So let me ask you, what do you consider a dog? What's the point spread? Should it be is it 3 or more, 5 or more? What do you consider a dog?
It has to be 6.5 or more.
Exactly.
Manuch
goes a 1-point dog.
The dog's a dog.
No, it's not. It's like a pick'em.
It's not. A dog's a dog. The Green Bay was a 1-point dog when in Tampa. I took Green Bay. I won. It was at the dog. So that's all. Basically, a dog's a dog.
You're in the right.
You
so
can't.
If you have a Chihuahua and a Saint Bernard, are they not both dogs?
They're both dogs.
Yes.
But one is definitely a 6.5 and not a 1.
Yes.
Oh, that's funny. I did not get the rule sheet, Rock, and we did this competition.
Dude, it's common sense.
Okay, but today
you played in the National Football League. You knew when you were a dog.
No idea.
When you were looking at spreads when you were playing for the Bills, they're like, we're a 1-point dog. Oh, I don't know about a dog.
Never looked at anything about.
That's a pick'em.
I never
but
looked
if
at it
Vegas says you're 6.5, 7, that's a touchdown.
Okay, so I made a change that I did your so-called rules, which I didn't get the rule sheet before we started.
Dude,
but that's okay.
I saw this morning, and last week I was at the Browns game, and I took that one.
Okay,
Browns.
I'm happy for you. You won.
It's got to be 3 or more.
And I took Green Bay. They were a dog. Period. End of sentence.
One.
And they won that bad boy.
That's a pick'em. Also, Howard Balzer's going to join us. We're going to talk some NFL football with him, specifically the Arizona Cardinals. He's now with GoPhoenix.com. So looking forward to catching up with him because we need to talk to him about what's going on with that. So we will do that. And then a little bit later, we'll have our What's on Tap brought to you by 72 Soul and our Learn in a Row one call. That's all. But we are out here at Twin Peaks. Tim's joining us. He's our guest host today. We kicked out Jimmy. And you know what's funny is the man-sized drafts are about the same height as Jimmy.
I knew you were going there,
right, Tim? I mean, would you agree?
And just as cold.
I love it. Yes,
good stuff.
Yeah, Jimmy, I get the stepping stool to step up to that man-sized draft.
So what's funny, Tim, is we never get any of you guys to come on with us. Like Steve and Glendale and all these guys have been there. They're scared.
I think Steve is definitely scared.
But he's a huge Cardinal fan.
He is a huge Cardinal
fan.
He's
a big football fan in general, and you're typically at the Glendale location,
yes,
right?
I am.
And I think that's one of the busiest ones, right? So your Cardinal games are absolutely crushed. You get crushed.
Absolutely insane, especially even after the game, everybody coming back. But it is a lot of fun. I mean, I absolutely love working for this company. And how cool is it to watch Cardinal games all
day?
It's
more fun when they win, too. But they haven't won a home game in the last 8 games.
Let me ask you this, though. In all honesty, it's a away game this week, but when they come back, I think Eagles, they're going to take over that bar next week because I'm going to be one of them wearing my green. But what time do you really need to get there to actually get for a 1 o'clock game? Are you still getting that early 10 o'clock game crowd?
We are still getting that 10 o'clock crowd. And again, it's everybody going to that game.
Yeah.
Just to get on over. I would be there at 9:45. By 10:30, we are definitely on our way.
Are you really at 10:30?
Oh yeah, and they're coming in strong. So it's fun.
So there's no like back door where the kitchen is. It's like a knock, and the secret word is Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. You need to get in.
It's not a speakeasy, Rock. It's Twin Peaks in Glen.
Like the movie Goodfellas.
Like
we come through the back.
code.
Where did they get a table? How come I can't get a table?
Yeah, spot for me back there.
Yeah.
So who's your team?
I'm a Cowboys fan.
Jimmy B. back.
I'm a Cowboys fan.
Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
Man.
Cowboy fan?
Cowboy fan.
Oh my gosh.
Because you're from here?
I'm actually from LA, which is really weird.
Well, you didn't have a football team for a while, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
The Rams left to go to St. Louis. The Raiders came and went. Chargers were down in San Diego. You had nothing going on there.
You know what I think it is with Cowboy fans? It's the default. Right? It's in other words, it's like you don't have a fan. You know how things default on your computer.
Yeah.
It just defaults to Cowboys.
Yeah, it's America's team, Rock. You know,
Yeah.
so America, even LA.
96.
For not having a home team, they were always on TV to watch.
Yeah.
They
LA.
were. They were. And last time I checked, California's still America. Last
It
time
still
I
is
checked.
America.
Okay, just making sure that it is America. Yeah, that's the thing about growing up in Arizona. It was every damn weekend. It was the Cowboys. Enough already. Could we see Green Bay or Pittsburgh or whomever? I mean, but when they play like the Eagles or the Redskins or now the Commanders and all that,
any of the NFC East battle.
yeah, it was fun.
I think would you guys agree that conference in the NFL is probably the best when it comes to rivalry?
It was phenomenal
because everyone thinks they're the rival.
Yeah.
You know, it's Philly, New York's the rival. Philly, Washington, Philly, Dallas, and they may feel the same in this conference with the NFC West. They don't like that. You know, the Cardinals used to be in that division, by the way.
Yeah, they were.
The Cardinals. Who's their rival?
Oh, it's probably the Rams. Probably the Rams.
Last year, at one point, I think 2 years ago, we were saying San Francisco.
Yeah, but the Rams.
And then we were saying Seattle. I mean, so they really haven't had that rival. I mean, I think you can make an argument. You could ask 10 different Cardinal fans, and they will probably give you a different
answer. And
answer.
McVay is 10-1 now against the Cardinals.
So it's not a rival.
But that's the
They
Cardinal
owned them.
fans. They think they are. San Francisco's pretty much been the closest of the two.
I think you got to look at the head-to-head. I know the Seattle head-to-head's very close.
That was good, but Seattle's falling by
They're
the wayside.
falling off.
Yeah.
I think, especially with being a Cowboys fan, because we're all fighting for 8-8 or now 9-8 just to get to the playoffs. So every game for us counts. That's why we have all of our rivalries.
Think of 7-10 may get you to the playoffs this year. Think about that.
I mean,
we
got Cooper Rush. It's 2-0 right now, looking really good.
Why make the change? Why make the change?
I would not.
Just because Dak makes $35 million a year, why make the change?
He's doing great cheerleading for us. That's fine.
No, you know who's doing good cheerleading? Well, Dax is, but Michael Irvin's your biggest cheerleader. Oh, my gosh.
Win, lose, or draw, man. You're the best team in the National Football League, man. Let me break it down for you.
We are.
The worst thing that could happen is with Arizona hosting the Super Bowl, it's Dallas. That would be just
my
awful.
gosh.
I know you would love it, especially Glendale.
I actually wouldn't. I'd be working that
You'd have to
day.
work. You would be
But the way the NFC is right now, it's wide open right now. Think about it.
100% wide open.
Yeah, AFC is, I think, got more dominant teams, but it could be wide. It could be the Eagles. You know, the Eagles are playing, I think, some of the best football right now.
They haven't
in the
faced.
NFC.
They haven't faced a tough a schedule yet. You know, that's the only knock I have on them. I think they look good. I think the best rounded team, and I'm not saying some bias.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You know, Detroit scored late on them, so you look at the score there, but they did take care of Washington pretty good.
Hurts looks pretty damn good
Hurts
at
looks
quarterback.
great.
But you know, you keep Cooper Rush at quarterback. Why not? Why not,
I'm
man?
keeping him there. I'm definitely keeping him there.
What he did against the Giants, kept his poise, didn't make any dumb throws. I mean, you didn't see some of the.
Is he serviceable? But it's just
He's very serviceable. They're serviceable, very serviceable. Then the next tier. But he's been around for several years.
3 minutes.
I mean, he's done a great job.
Central Michigan.
Yeah, such a Chippewa,
some good. Some quarterbacks coming out of the MAC.
Yeah, exactly
Think
right.
about the MAC.
And you had one there, Eastern Illinois, a Tony Romeo guy there for a few years.
I still miss Tony. And I know he was
You
always
mean
hurt.
the
I know
fumbles? Didn't he fumble?
Well, he fumbled a snap on a field goal attempt to beat the Seattle Seahawks several
that was
years
right
ago.
when he came in when he was his backup.
Yeah.
And we was on the 2-yard line to win it.
But the cheerleaders are still outstanding. Tim, I got to tell you, they're still there. They're still right there.
They got something
But you're known for something, that's for sure.
That's what we're known for.
Well, Tim, thanks. Nice to meet you. Thanks for jumping in. Appreciate that. We're going to get to our State 48 Roofing It's Your Call question of the day. What do the Cardinals need to do to get off to a quick start against the Carolina Panthers. Your choices are third down conversions, Cliff Kingsbury's play calling, more shots down the field, or the running game. You can head to our Twitter page at Roc and Manuch. It's always brought to you each and every day by State 48 Roofing. For a free quote, repair, head to state48roofing.com, and you can always follow them on social media. Just search hashtag sexy roof status. We will talk a lot more about the Arizona Cardinals as we continue on. About 3:30, we'll catch up with Howard Balzer. Got our dog picks that are coming up here in just a minute. Again, some of the top stories this afternoon. Nationally, it's probably the Bucks and the Chiefs about where they're going to play, and they're going to stay in Tampa. I think that's a big deal because the Hurricane Air Force gets probation for some recruiting violations similar to Arizona State. I think that's a kind of a farce as we talk about that. The Jays clinched the playoff berth thanks to the Royals' loss. So that's good stuff, and we're still kind of recovering from that 61st home run yesterday by Aaron.
Recovering, aren't we ever?
Yeah, we're recovering.
Oh, man.
So
wore me out trying to track that bad boy down.
Yeah, that's nuts.
I think the Morris family,
1 minute.
from traveling so much,
it could be. It could be.
They were at every single game.
All right, coming up, most weekend bettors prefer to lay their money down on favorites. Not us, Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B. We're all about the dogs. 3 or more points is what the rule is moving forward, Manuch. Our underdog picks of the week are next live here from the Twin Peaks in Phoenix. It's brought to you by the new Sportsbook and the CAZ Sports Bar at Casino, Arizona. This is Fox Sports 910.
Tomorrow on
Couldn't agree with you more, Manuch.
Yeah, dog's a dog.
Most weekend bettors prefer to lay their money down on favorites because they can't get their head around backing an underdog. Not Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. They're all about the dogs. Time now for the guys' dog.
Guys are hot.
On Fox Sports 910.
All right. We've pivoted this season on this contest, this internal contest that we've
You pivoted.
well,
You in the about face?
it's no. When you pivot, you kind of have to. You're changing the way you're doing.
Changing
things.
your direction.
Bobbing and weaving.
Yes, or you're. It's an audible. Is that easy?
there you
for you?
go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
that's
doing
better.
an audible.
Yeah.
That's appropriate on a football Thursday, Rock.
And we have set 3 as the number that an underdog needs to be for you to take them to be the underdog of the week. So
as of today, yes. Nice to have that memo 3 weeks ago. We didn't get that
it
memo.
was.
A dog is a dog. Hate to tell you. An underdog's an underdog.
Let's poll everybody here in Twin Peaks, and I guarantee 99.9% would say someone that's a -1 is not really a dog.
No, it's not.
It's on the books, on the board. It says -1.
But it doesn't say you're not betting it on dogs. So last week I had Browns over Steelers.
Yep.
+3. They won.
Yep.
They won the game.
Yep.
So I'm 3-0.
Okay.
Manuch goes, Packers are a 1-point dog versus the Bucks.
Sorry, man.
And Green Bay wins.
I'm desperate
but
for a
this is
win.
under review. So right now he's 0-2 with 1 under review.
No.
So we're just Jimmy.
Yeah.
You're the judge.
Yes.
So is he 0-2 or is he 0-3 or
technically,
Thank you. Technically, Vegas had -1.
he hit because
Yes.
I had it at a pick 'em when the game started.
No,
Okay.
you did.
If you
There's
had-
no way.
if you had
It
a
was
better-
-1 when the game
You
started.
don't know. You're working your kids out. You're watching games on Sunday.
Brother, by Saturday night, I know they're not going to change much on Saturday night.
Yes,
They do all the time.
Sunday they always
They
do.
always
They didn't change that one.
Let me ask you this: Have you ever placed a bet? Honestly, have you physically ever made a bet? cash.
On a football game?
Yeah.
No, never.
Exactly.
No,
So who you didn't say what an underdog is?
Technically, it never changed, so it's a dog is a dog. If it was pick 'em, it'd be pick 'em. I could see that. I wasn't going to do it. That's no dog.
Can we call a program director in here? We need somebody that got to break this.
Dog, technically.
All right, Jimmy.
Yes.
On
fire.
Had
I had the Dolphins.
You had the Dolphins. +6.
Yes. And they won the game outright.
So you're now 1-2. Ben was off. So Richie took his place.
He did.
Richie, you inherited Richie's win, Ben. So he took
Right.
Detroit +6. Vikings won 28-24.
Yes.
So Ben goes to 2-1. And then Jack's 13.5 against number 18 Washington. He lost. And one thing we can tell you about Jack's, who is a former player at Montana. He co-hosted with the guys Mike and Mike on Saturdays with Take the Points at Casino Arizona. He is 0-3 in his dog.
He stinks.
And he's in last place in the pick'em.
I'm in a rough spot right now, gentlemen. Not gonna lie.
You're lucky. We're not even through the first quarter of the season.
Yeah, really.
So you're okay.
A lot of room to come back, but yeah, it's not looking too hot.
So $25 is what we are individually placing our bets here. All losses, it's going to go to the Humane Society.
Correct.
So we'll donate $25 to the Arizona Humane Society. We got to look for somebody that wants to match us. So if you own a business, you want to match us, it's all in fun. It's all going for a good cause. So that leads us to this week.
Let's start with the guy who grew up playing tennis, and his dog Guinness beat him last year in the fan pickup.
Hey guys, you ready to let the dogs out?
Rock, you got a lock?
So you know where that's from? Hey guys, you want to let the dog out? Do you know what movie that's from? Either one of you guys?
No. What movie is that from?
The movie that you did not like, Manuch.
Oh, you're talking about something in Vegas or what was that movie? Hangover. Yeah,
Manucci did not like the movie.
It was all right.
It was good, man.
It was
Exactly. It was funny.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
because you've never probably done
that was
a weekend
raving.
like
What
that.
a funny movie. It was okay.
I had that weekend, by the way. We didn't black out or anything, but I had that weekend in Cleveland because last Thursday at this time I was pre-gaming at Ohio State, or excuse me, at Cleveland Pittsburgh game. Then I went to the Ohio State.
You didn't wake
game.
up in the company of the cartel?
No, I was lucky. I was lucky to wake up in Columbus one night and Cleveland the other two. So I did already.
Did you have a monkey on your shoulder?
No monkeys.
You woke up underneath a pool table though one.
That was West Virginia. That was West Virginia. That was my junior year at Ohio.
With or without furniture?
No, it was furniture at the fraternity house. Yeah. So Rutgers is at Ohio State.
They are.
The spread is 40.5.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Grew up in New Jersey, South Jersey. Almost went to Rutgers, but I'm a huge Buckeye fan. I'm taking Rutgers in this one.
Wow.
That's risky. Well, I don't know. That's why you got to take the unders. No doubt OSU's going to outgun. They can outgun anybody in the Big Ten. But 40 points
That's a lot.
is a big line. I think Ohio State by 38 so they don't cover. And I get my dog. All right.
Manuch, you played the game, so this should be a no-brainer.
They're all my dogs.
Give us your dog of the week.
All right, the Bills are a +3 going into the Ravens. I go a home dog. By the way, the Ravens have played, and my fantasy quarterback, Lamar Jackson. Thank you so much. Matter of fact, Rock, I've got you in fantasy this week. Leaping Lamar Jackson, making it happen. At home, I'm going to go with the dog. They're being the home dog, the Ravens, if they can cover that. And I'm going to say they're going to beat the Buffalo Bills this weekend, led by one Lamar Jackson. So my dog is the Ravens, and they're going to win that outright.
Okay.
Finally, he's not Jimmy the Greek, but he's been calling the game for over 40 years.
What about the dogs? What about the dogs?
Jimmy B, what's your underdog pick of the week?
This is an easy one for me.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm doing this is because I have indeed watched, and I don't know why, but I watched Jacksonville's last couple of games. Fellas, they are somewhat impressive. Now, is it a possibility that the Philadelphia Eagles, who are undefeated, will just sort of get off the bus and think that, it's Jacksonville, they're lousy? I am taking Jacksonville, and I am getting the points in that game. I am excited that Jacksonville, and I think they hang right now with the Steelers, and I want that dog at 6.5.
You know, Philly was unbeaten against the spread as a 6.5-point favorite or more at home last season, and they hit over in 6 of the 8 games at home, and they've already hit over once this year.
That was last
I will take that side bet with you.
Okay.
Side bet?
Yeah,
Side bet for
we're
lunch?
good. Yeah,
All
we're
right,
good.
side bet that the Eagles will cover 6.5. Jax, what do you got for us?
All right, guys, I'm 0-3. I'm sticking with college football. Middle Tennessee beat Miami last week, a ranked Miami team by 14, and they are a 4-point underdog against UTSA at home. Give me the Blue Raiders to cover and beat UTSA +4. Middle Tennessee State, let's ride.
That's the Friday night game. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Ben, what do you got, buddy?
So I'm happy back this week, and I got another good pick for you guys. But before I get into that, I just want to say this is one of the few times I will agree with Manuch. Absolutely, a dog is a dog. It doesn't matter if it's +1, +half. A dog is a dog. So I think Manuch's point should count last week. No problem.
Thank you.
But yeah. This is one of the few times I'll agree with you, Manuch.
Yeah.
But I'll go with my pick this week, where the Patriots are. They are a dog at Lambeau, +9. I will take them to cover, where Brian Hoyer will be coming in, subbing in the duty for Mac Jones, who I believe is not much of a drop-off from Mac Jones. So you're going to have the Patriots this week cover in Lambeau, holding it to a low-scoring game. So therefore, I will run on the Patriots.
All right, here's a little-known fact about what he just did. Brian Hoyer, in his last 11 starts, is 0 for 11.
He's over.
0 for 11.
That means he's due, baby. That means he's due.
But did he cover the spread?
I know.
You didn't look at that
I
second
did not
piece
look
of
at
that.
No.
He's covered the spread, I think, in 4 of those.
Former Cardinal great Brian Hoyer will come in and absolutely cover the spread.
Hasn't he played for 30, the other 31
I
teams?
think so, yeah.
He's got a contract.
I'm jealous.
He's got some money in my. Hey, no one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. It just started. Starts at 3 o'clock. whatever your preference. They have everything from tequila cocktails to an extensive bourbon category to top shelf spirits and cocktails served over ice balls. Do you know what ice balls are, Manuch?
Yes, I sure do.
What are ice balls?
Ice
Manuch?
balls and ice squares.
It's out here in Wisconsin.
Frozen solid ice ball that they get out of the freezer. They've got the squares, the ice balls. Pour that drink right over that ice ball in your glass.
And don't forget their 29-degree Blue Moon and Coors Light man-sized draft specials every Thursday and big specials throughout the weekend. Talk some Cardinal football next. How will defensive coordinator Vance Joseph get the Cardinals defense shored up for this weekend in Carolina? And how will the offense on the flip side score early and often? Howard Balzer with PHNX will join us and give us his insight on what this team needs to do to get on the winning track. Because I think if they can win in Carolina and they're 2-2, okay.
Against your Eagles coming in next week,
It's gonna be a green out.
it might could be.
I think it will be.
Yeah.
This team's playing well, especially if they're going to blow out Jacksonville. And then,
No, they're not.
do you think they're going to win though, but just not cover?
No, I think
You got an outright win for Jags?
I think the Jags are going to play them right down to the wire. I really do.
When you smoke the Chargers like they smoked them
They
last
did.
week, they got a chance.
This week, I think everybody would agree. I don't think anybody saw Kansas City beating Indianapolis.
No.
I mean, everyone's fan pick'em is up and down. It's all over the board because the picks were tough.
Or Indy
What I
beat
did
KC.
last year, Indy, is that what I said? What I did last week, and I did pretty well, I'm in 3 pools, home teams,
Really?
all the way across.
Jeez.
I'm still in 3rd place.
There have been upsets all over the
There
place.
have been.
Parody the National Football League.
We're at Twin Peaks. Howard Balzer next. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Christian McCaffrey.
Untouched around the left end. Hello, anybody home over there? Anybody? One way or the other? Just amazing that flash sweep. I got to tell you what, guys, the Rams could have very easily put 28 points on the board in the first quarter, let alone the first half.
Let's catch up with Howard Balzer from GoPHNX.com. You can follow him on Twitter at HBalzer721, and he joins us down on the right to the guest line. Howard, how's your Thursday going, bud?
Hey, it's going great. How about you guys? What's going on?
Can't complain. We're just trying to keep Manuch in line. He's overthrowing some people today. So we're trying to get him on top.
Hey, when I miss good, Howard. I can tell you that, man.
So Howard, I know we can put a wrap on the Rams, but let's just move ahead to Panthers. It's already Thursday, and what do you think needs to happen for this offense to get started quicker? Do they establish the run? They need a dink and dunk with Murray. What would you like to see happen to maybe get this thing on the right tracks early?
The main thing I think is just not shooting yourself in your foot. I'm surprised we haven't heard anybody talk about that. That term was used quite often last year about shooting themselves in the foot. I mean, the first 4 possessions against the Rams, which didn't get very far, but they couldn't convert third downs, obviously, and 2 of them were 3rd and 14 or 3rd and 21 because of sacks. And so the bottom line is, it's like this whole, we got to find a rhythm. You can't find a rhythm unless you can make some first downs. And if you go 3 and out, that's not going to happen. And so basically it just comes down to not making those mistakes and finding ways to move the ball. But, they are compromised now at wide receiver, especially with A.J. Green out, who I'm not that thrilled with anyway. Mm-hmm. But I'm telling you, I mean, you look at this receiving core, and even if Rondale Moore comes back, that's just another small guy to add to a group that Marquise Brown basically is the tallest guy. He's 5'9". So, but you got to find a way. I think it is maybe running the ball more effectively and then being able to, to come up with those key passes and protect Kyler Murray. But, it's tough. And I'll tell you, we talk about the Rams. This Carolina team has had Cliff Kingsbury's number almost as badly as the Rams. Mm-hmm. I mean, the last 3 years, the Panthers have outscored the Cardinals 103-51 in the 3 games that they've played. So they've got to figure out a way to solve this team, which certainly isn't as formidable as the Rams.
Yeah, you talked about Rondale Moore. I know he's practiced the last couple of days. I don't know if he's going to be on a pitch count one way or the other, but it's just a shame. And if he does play, I know that Cliff has said we'll just kind of feel it out. Will he be a game time decision, or is he certainly going to play and then just kind of fill it out while he's playing?
I would say it would probably be a game day decision. They want to. He runs around and is feeling pretty good. He told the media today, in very few words, he was saying, "Well, you think you're going to play on Sunday?" And he says, "I'm good." So they said, "Well, what do you think? How much you can be able to play?" He says, "I'm good." That's all he said. But he feels like he can play, and I mean, I don't think it's going to be a tremendous number of snaps because you don't want to overdo it. Because the worst thing that could happen is you put him out there, the adrenaline's going, and all of a sudden he suffers a re-injury. But I think it could be key getting him there. But he hasn't done much in a month, so that's always going to be a question when you get a guy coming back from injury.
Howard, what do you make of Kyler Murray when talking about why he's not running with the football as much, and him explaining basically that, well, I was told not to, and I just trying to make plays. He just kind of went away from it when he was asked that question. How do you figure that out?
Yeah, it was an interesting answer. I mean, he didn't say I wasn't. I was. He didn't say I was asked not to run, but he said I would like to be asked to do it more.
Yes,
and
that's it.
I think that's more on the design runs type of situation. But I think what's going on, I think it's not an easy answer. Because I think with the way teams are playing the Cardinals, especially the Rams, when you're in a zone defense and all the defenders are basically can keep their eyes on Kyler Murray, it's a lot harder for him to find that running room, especially on scramble plays. And a lot of teams are doing that. And then also when you're compromising the receiving core and you don't have DeAndre Hopkins and you don't have some of these other guys, and I mean, heck, he averaged 8.5 yards per completion in that game. against the Rams. So when the defense isn't respecting the passing game, then there's not as many opportunities for Kyler Murray to run. But he did say, I'd like to be asked to do it more. But, those are design runs. And if a defense is doing things to stop it, then that could be tough too. Because they did have, they did have some RPOs in the game Sunday, and he pitched every one to James Conner because there just wasn't running room there.
Yeah, matter of fact, it's interesting. We talked about that last week. I would like to see them do more waggles and boots and sprints just to get him on the perimeter because it's the Rams. But did I not see a stat that said anytime he rushes for over 10 times that the Cardinals are like, 6-1 or 7-2 or something like that. And when he rushes for less than 5 times, they have not won a game. So there's a lot of merit to that design format of getting him on the perimeter.
No, that's right. The stat actually, it's 10 or more runs in a game, and the Cardinals are 9-1 in those games.
Yeah.
But I looked it up specifically after I heard that, and most of those games were in 2020 when he was running a lot more before getting hurt against Seattle. He only had 2 games last year where he ran it 10 times or more. But they had Hopkins for most of the season. They had Rondale Moore. They had Christian Kirk. I mean, and no one's talked about him. I think his absence has hurt this team, and they were expecting, the Cardinals were expecting Rondale Moore to pick up some of that slack that that was left by Kirk leaving, and he hasn't been available. I mean, it's really amazing, guys, when you look at the first 3 games of last season. I had that in my story today on GoPHNX.com. When you look at the first 3 weeks last year, and the first 3 weeks this year, oh my goodness, it's night and day from what it was last year. And Murray's passer rating, which was over 113 at this time last year, is now in the 80s. But the big difference is in the first 3 games last year, Hopkins and Kirk combined for 28 receptions and averaged about 14 yards a reception. Kirk was averaging 15.9, and they had 5 touchdowns. So I think a lot of this right now is personnel. I mean, everyone says, well, we've got the personnel. We've just got to do. Well, this personnel isn't as good right now as it was last season at this time, especially in that receiving core. And I think that's a part of what's being shown on the field.
All right, I'm gonna stay then with your thought on personnel and on the defensive side. Why are we seeing it, at least right now, how Isaiah Simmons and Zavon Collins are like in and out of the lineup like it's going out of style? Is that going to change? Is that Vance Joseph doing his thing? Give me some insight.
Well, it's mostly Joseph. Collins really has played most of the snaps. He was out last week because he hurt his shoulder, but the week before he played every snap in week 2. And so
3 minutes.
The Simmons one is mystifying because you have Cliff Kingsbury saying, well, we didn't play him as much after week 1 because he didn't play well and he needed to practice better. And then he practiced better, but he didn't get many snaps, 22% in week 2, 33% in week 3. Vance Joseph says, I'm really happy with what he's done these last 2 games, but it's all about packages and personnel and all those things because he does so many different things. But you can't tell me that it's better to have Ben Neiman on the field or Nick Vigil than Isaiah Simmons.
Amen.
And then complicating it even more, guys, with Steve Keim on his weekly bit on another radio station last week said that, yeah, he's still learning some things in terms of the things he's doing. But the bottom line is you have to get your best 11 guys on the field. And when Isaiah Simmons is on the field, he makes big plays. And he said, in my opinion, he should be playing more. So I'm going to be real curious how this is going forward. Vance Joseph said today, I'm really happy with what he's done. So let's see if the snap count goes up this week significantly from the 33% he played last week.
All right, Howard, we got about a minute here. You have Trey McBride come out in a 3 tight end set, the opening play of the game. He was the top pick for the Cardinals in the draft, was he not? Is he strictly a blocker now? Does he ever catch anything? Does he go for? I'm like just an impact player in my rear end. You're an overall pick. What is the game plan with this young man?
Yeah, I mean, they keep saying that he's coming along. You're right. He started the game, and then played 4 snaps the rest of the game. So it could very well be a big part of it is, hey, you're comfortable. Here's the way I look. You're obviously comfortable with Zach Ertz, so you can't have an argument with that.
Get it.
But why not have McBride on the field, who's a bigger receiver? Maybe we'll see it this week with AJ Green not being there. Why not have him out there instead of all these midgets that they got? I like Greg Dortch, but Andy Isabella was called out by Kyler Murray for slowing down and not realizing the ball was coming to him on a deep pass from the Rams 31-yard line in the game. So why not use McBride in some of those plays, some of those instances over the middle or wherever instead of some of these receivers. So without AJ Green this week, I'm going to be very curious to see the way they deploy that offensive personnel. But you're right. This would seem to be one of those times where perhaps we'll see Trey McBride a little bit more than we have.
For the best Cardinals coverage, go to gophnx.com and check out Howard Balzer's stories each and every day. You can also follow him on Twitter at hbalzer721. Howard, have a good week, man. Thanks for the time, as always.
All right, guys. Take care.
You got it.
Coming up, our Learner in Row one call, that's all. And we'll tell you how you can win a customized grill for your backyard. That's all next as we continue from Twin Peaks in Phoenix. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B right here on Fox Sports 910.
That's all. 602-977-1900. Lerner and Rowe, voted Arizona's best law firm.
But I ain't never crossed a man that didn't deserve it. Me be treated like a punk, you know that's unheard of. You better watch how you're talking and where you're walking, or you and your homies might be lying to chalk.
You guys are hot.
Really hate the trip, but I got a low.
Yeah, sad news. Coolio passed away last night at 59.
Young guy,
Yeah.
59, man.
Yeah, it's like you wonder sometimes, right?
Yeah.
How these things happen. I mean, this was kind of a
Caught everybody by surprise.
awkward deal.
Yeah.
That they found him in a buddy's house.
Mm-hmm.
The guy,
Unfortunate.
the guy said he just got up and said, "Hey, I'm going to use the men's room," and never came out.
Yeah, unfortunate. I forget what was that movie was a great movie with
Gangsta.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh,
she
yeah.
was great.
She
in that
was.
movie, man.
Yep.
Going into the hood and trying to get
Yep.
those kids to college or
That's
just
it.
pass.
Yeah.
And what a rough start that was, but turned out to be a great movie.
Let's see what's on the tube tonight if you're going to hang out and watch some sports.
What's on Tap, powered by 72 Soul. A look at the top sports action tonight on TV. Get our price, a higher price at 72soul.com.
All right, if you do not have Amazon Prime, then we suggest that you actually head over to a Twin Peaks. There's 4 of them in the Valley. Phoenix, Scottsdale, Glendale, and in Tempe for tonight's Thursday night game of the week as the 3-0 Dolphins and the 2-1 Bengals will go at it at about 5:15. 5:15. And you can't beat it. Take advantage of the Coors Light and Miller Lite specials each and every Thursday. Also, tonight, Utah at number 19 BYU. That'll be at 5 o'clock on ESPN.
Utah State.
What did I say?
Yeah. Utah.
Ooh, I'm sorry.
That's right. I was going to say, wait a second,
for Utah fans out there, I apologize. My bad.
USC.
That's like when you hear.
Utah.
That's like when Arizona State people get upset when they're talking about the Sun Devils and they just say Arizona.
Yeah.
Right?
Or State.
They're in Tucson.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Tulane at Houston, ESPN, UTSA at Middle Tennessee State. That's the dog of the week for Jax.
Yep.
CBS Network. Boise State, new coach, San Diego State. They'll host FS1. A lot of games tomorrow. And then number 15, Washington at UCLA, not ranked yet. We'll see. If they win this one, they'll definitely be ranked. That game is the late one at 7:30 on ESPN. And New Mexico at UNLV. That game is at 8 o'clock on CBS Sports Network. A reminder here on the home of college football and the National Football League. Yeah, we are your home for the National Football League, where you can actually hear the game on Sunday. It's the Commanders and the Cowboys at 9:30.
You know what Manuch typed in the other day?
I saw it.
He saw it.
Yeah, I made a note.
The Commodores. Commodores.
You saw my note, didn't you? I mean, I put that on there.
Sometimes at 12:30 at night, I'm thinking, it's Commodore.
So just kind of go behind the scenes and how it works here with Roc and Manuch, and now with Jimmy B. Is Manuch will get the guests lined up on our Google Drive, okay, and we have it every day kind of lined up.
Yep.
And Manuch will put in the guests, and then I fill in the rest, okay. And I kind of got ahead of it the other day, and I decided to prep the whole show on Tuesday night for tomorrow.
That's
right?
fair. Yep.
Got all your on this day, everything. Okay?
Yeah.
I no lie, no exaggeration, Jimmy. Spent 2 hours. I'm not kidding. 2 hours. I had some really good stuff for yesterday's show.
Yeah.
You must have. I never saw it.
So Manuch went ahead and just deleted it.
Yeah. Because I used to go like at midnight, and Rock's
and on the top
it said
updated for Wednesday. Knowing that I got on at around 10 to 30, and I know he doesn't get to 11.
Right.
I literally put that on there.
Yeah.
So because he hadn't done his stuff yet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because I usually do my stuff at 5:30 in the morning, but I got up so I did it late.
He flipped the script literally on me.
He cannot. You know, we talked about autopilot.
Yes.
Earlier in the show.
Yes.
Manuch can't audible.
Well, here's the thing.
Cannot go against the script.
You've never done that before. And
Yes, I have. If you look at tomorrow, you look at every day. I do stuff. Well, I get notes that make sense.
Well,
for
I
our
do.
show.
I see some of that, but some of the stuff I'm going at, it must be yesterday's our day old stuff.
You don't
From
read
last
it.
week.
Just read it. It'll say.
I was on a roll, man.
I was so mad at you. And before that, I decided not to help you guys yesterday. You guys were on your own.
Okay, we got our stuff.
Because
anyway.
I put some of it in there.
Well, but
it wasn't one of your better
the
shows.
majority of stuff that we know. We had plenty of
3
stuff
minutes.
yesterday. We had on this day and all the random facts, a few other things. We do just fine when you're not here, Rock.
But
We do survive,
You
Rock.
do, but just your facts are like,
No, we get some great
it's
random
like black and
facts.
white TV stuff. It's like goes so old school.
No.
Where do you even pull your stuff?
Oh, I get it.
I pull some of the stupidest
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, it's good stuff because people are, wow, I never knew that.
Maybe your dad is listening.
No,
but
because
that's it.
I had somebody
That is
go,
it.
there's anything on, and somebody go, look, we never realized that snakes were the ones that could tell an earthquake's coming versus birds or whatever.
Why your dogs
don't know. No, snakes.
My
know
dog
when-
knows when it's going to rain.
Well, but
or a storm's coming. He's freaking out under the
snakes know almost a week ahead of time. There's an earthquake.
How do you know?
coming.
Who they tell?
Because they
Who are they telling
because
that
they see
there's
them
an earthquake coming?
because they see them leaving, whether it's cold or hot, their nests, whatever. So they've kind of tracked it over the last 500 years that snakes are the best prediction of earthquakes coming. Yeah, that's a random fact right there, right?
Right
there, man.
Glad I was off.
That was a lot better than the one that you told me several weeks ago. If your poop floats, you're
If it's
healthy.
healthy. Yeah.
You're healthy.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I literally hit the channel on that one.
Yeah,
I was driving in my car and I heard you guys. I'm like,
what?
Oh,
But you know how? But you know,
Manuchism.
You know, people are actually checking now when they hear that right there. You know,
They're sourcing you, they're fact checking you. I wish there were some networks that would do that.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Tap is powered every day right here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B by America's leading home selling program. 72 Sold. How do you not know by now? We tell you every day. 72 Sold is the easiest way to sell your home for top dollar. So, for the easiest, fastest, most profitable way to sell your home, head to 72sold.com. To get a higher price for your home, go to 72sold.com. Hey, you still have time today. You have time tomorrow and the next day for your chance to win a customized backyard patio set. Just text PEAKS to 55678. Standard message and data rates apply. You can do it each and every day. So, again, Coors Light Blue Moon, man-sized draft specials every Thursday. Kicks off the weekend here at Twin Peaks, so check it out.
Who you guys got tonight?
I got Cincinnati.
I got Cincy.
I have Cincy as well.
Yeah, I got Cincy.
I think 2 out because he's a little banged up, but hey,
well,
Cincinnati's a pretty good
30
football
seconds.
team.
And Cincinnati, going to the Super Bowl last year, they're too good to go 1-3.
I agree with you 100%. And they're playing home. And it looks like after last week's win, they finally have kind of got it back
And
together.
all white uniforms tonight.
Yes,
Jimmy.
that's right.
And the new helmets.
Yeah,
They got the mojo back, Jimmy?
Yeah, I think so. I got my
Hey, we'll do it again. We'll do it again tomorrow, beginning at 1. If you missed anything, go to rockandmanuch.com. See you tomorrow. We'll be at Wright Toyota. It's Fox Sports 910.